It is neighbor versus neighbor.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Jonna says that you're cussing her and telling her to get her white ass back in the house.
I most certainly have not.
Do you stand in your yard and meow like a cat to get under their skin?
Never. Meow?
You just did it. You just did it. Meow. So you know what she's talking about.
On Neighbors Feud.
I wrote in to get help.
To get help for yourself, I'm assuming, because you have some serious problems going on.
Turns into a war.
They set a mortar shell under the swing set and tried to blow it up.
That is not true.
Put her on a lie detector test.
And I want you to do one, too, because the machine is going to blow up.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Okay, I want you to take a look at this neighborhood in St. Louis. A perfect image of affluence with its large houses, sprawling lawns, far removed from city life. But for the past 6 months, this quiet subdivision has become a battleground for Jonna and Alan, who are feuding with their neighbors over barking dogs, explosives placed in the backyard, an alleged assault, a sexual misconduct charge related to a mooning incident. Now, the fighting has gotten so bad that it has even made the evening news. Jonna and Alan say the hostility is coming from the neighbors who live directly behind them. Maritha says since she moved in with her family in May, police have been to her home at least 17 times. She says someone even made an anonymous complaint saying, "This is an all-white neighborhood and they do not belong." Now, she is pointing her finger directly at her neighbors, Alan and Jonna. It is neighbor versus neighbor, and they say Maritha has only herself to blame for escalating conflict that has made them want to sell their home and run for their lives. Take a look.
Our neighbors make our life a living hell.
Maritha and Melanie moved in about 6 months ago, along with Maritha's 3 sons and 4 dogs, which bark 24/7. After Maritha moved in, I walked over to introduce myself. She immediately started cussing at me, telling me, "I know you're the bee that called animal control." I didn't call animal control. But recently, we asked her to take the dogs in, and she told me to take my white ass back in the house.
Maritha can be violent and hostile. She had a confrontation with my next-door neighbor. Maritha ended up punching her in the face. She was bleeding from her nose and her mouth. Her lip was busted.
She has revved up the harassment. Maritha has tweeted about us to basically commit suicide before she does it for us. Maritha told me that I have a gun in my trunk. I haven't had to use it yet, but I'm not afraid to. Maritha installed 8 security cameras on the back of their house and 2 in the front, along with 3 floodlights. It looks like Walmart lit up in their backyard. One's actually aimed right at my patio, and we're constantly on surveillance cameras. They film us every day. It's just nonstop. They're constantly out with their phones in the air videotaping us. My kids don't feel safe anymore. Maritha filed a restraining order on us. She claims that I asked her for money. I asked her for her sexual preference, and if me and my husband would swing with her and her partner. It's totally ludicrous. Maritha is out of control, and she will do anything to get back at us.
Okay, so neighbors have disputes. Kids will be kids. They do crazy things. Is this annoying, or
no, it's very dangerous to the point where we put our house up for sale. I mean, when it goes to the point where they're constantly filming us in the backyard, my children, and trying to set our swing set, blow it up, I mean, that's the point of it steps over the boundaries. It's time to get out.
When you say they tried to blow it up, what do you mean?
I mean, they set a mortar shell of some sort under the swing set and tried to blow it up.
And when did that happen?
That happened on July 5th.
Is that more likely it was a firework than a mortar shell?
Under these circumstances, if this wasn't the case, I would totally blow it off as a firework. But since these people have been harassing us and falsely accused us of so many things.
All right, well, let's talk about that. What is it they're accusing you of? What is it they're saying you do?
They say that they do not like us calling the police on when the dogs are barking at all hours of the night. I mean, the dogs bark 24/7. They have come around the neighborhood, taken pictures of our house, got in confrontations with our neighbors, and, you know, threatened to have protests in our neighborhood, threatened to, you know, bring gangs and to intimidate us.
These dogs are barking 24/7.
Yes.
Yes.
That's 24 hours a day.
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Yes.
Yes.
Those dogs must be really hoarse.
When we say all day, we don't mean literally barking nonstop. We're saying they bark, take a breath, bark. I mean, they're barking all day. When we say barking all day, that doesn't mean literally barking all day.
You say they're threatening to bring gangs in to do what? To kill you, beat you up?
We're not sure.
And you're afraid of Maritha.
Yes.
Why?
Well, she's a big girl. I mean, you know, and she's definitely have a mouth on her.
She says you're an agitator.
I don't know how I'm an agitator.
Well, were you nosy? Did you go over and start asking a bunch of personal questions?
Never. Never have I asked her any personal questions, ever. When I got home, she moved in on a Friday. We got home on a Monday. I walked over and was going to introduce myself to her, and she's cussing me under her breath. Like, stay the away from me, you B. And I'm like, I told him, I just kept going and got to her, and I'm like, hello, you know, my name's Jonna. I thought I'd introduce myself. She goes, you know, you're the one that called animal control on me. And I'm like, I just got home from out of town. And she's like, you know, you were on the deck calling animal control. I'm like, no, I wasn't. I just got home, literally. So I stood over there 2 hours convincing her that we're not out to get her. We just got into town. I said, I'd love for you to meet my kids. And her 3 boys were standing outside. I introduced myself to them. They all ignore me, except for a 15-year-old. He was the only polite one. Mm-hmm. And eventually, after 2 hours, finally convinced her that him and I were not out to get her. We just got home. Mm-hmm. So we ended on a very good note that night, that we're not out to get her. If you need anything, please come knock on the door. And so she proceeded to say, yeah, I need a deck and a fence. Do you know anybody? I said, yeah, I'll get you a referral. We know several people. So 2 days later, him and I were out in the yard, and I'm like, let me run inside, get a referral for her. I forgot to get it. So him and I walked to her. She's outside again. And I said, Maritha, I have your referral that we talked about. And then she cusses me again under her breath, walks in the back door like I wasn't even standing there. So everybody else was standing there. And I'm like, is your mother coming back out? I don't know. I don't know. You know, and then him and I just looked at each other like, I guess not. Let's go. So we walked off. I've never had another conversation with her. I mean,
have you lost your temper with her?
Yes, I have.
And you say they take pictures of y'all. Did she take this picture?
I'm sure she did. I mean, you know.
What are you saying here?
I have no idea.
Wasn't
Who
good.
knows?
Probably wasn't.
I'm like,
Is this where you're saying I've got your referral?
No.
No, I have had 2. I'm not going to lie.
This is.
When my son comes upstairs and tells me my neighbor's screaming, all you neighbors, I walk outside on the deck, and my neighbor is having confrontation with her. And so, of course, she goes at it with me and tells me to take my white ass back in the house.
Okay, Alan and Jonna say they had to install surveillance cameras around their house because they're afraid their neighbor, Maritha, will take her feud too far and kill them or one of their children. It appears that Maritha also has surveillance cameras because she's got pictures of them. Well, we're going to meet their neighbor and find out what she has to say about these accusations after the break, because Maritha is here. We'll talk to her when we come back.
Jonna and Alan can ruin our lives. They are falsifying police reports, and Jonna has been the instigator in keeping this neighborhood in an uproar.
And later,
That is not true.
I'll take a lie detector right now.
And you know
Put
what?
her on a
I
lie
will take
detector
one.
test.
Let's do one. And I want you to do one too, because the machine is going to blow up.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Accused of plotting the murder of a 13-year-old girl.
Her mugshot looks like she has a scar going down her face. I'm pretty sure that would have been my daughter trying to fight back.
Dr. Phil exclusive.
Nicole had been talking to older guys. I took her phone from her.
do you have those screenshots?
New details from the victim's family.
Sorry. It's hard to look at him.
What have police told you about how she died?
Then on Thursday, Mom wants her child back.
You're very critical of the woman that adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper. She's allowed to party, to be with other men, but she's never with my daughter.
Thursday.
Maritha has a criminal past.
I did some digging online, and I found that she had served a 3-year sentence for putting a hitman on her ex-husband. It makes me really sick to think that she tried to hire somebody to kill her ex-husband, and I could be next.
Alan says he is afraid his neighbor Maritha, who was convicted of hiring a man to kill her ex-husband, might pull out a gun and kill him and his wife Jonna if this feud between them continues to escalate. But Maritha says it's her family that needs protection and have become prisoners in their own home, surrounded by surveillance cameras just in case Alan and Jonna try to come on her property and harm them. Take a look.
Jonna and Alan have been harassing me since I moved in. I am sick and tired of it. I believe because I am a lesbian and in an interracial relationship, that is a problem for Jonna and Alan. Jonna has been the instigator in keeping this neighborhood in an uproar. She makes herself look like the victim. The police have been called to my residence approximately 17 times. Majority of those for my dogs are working. My dogs are therapy dogs for 2 of my disabled sons. This started from my dogs being abused. There were kids started off by spraying our dogs with water guns. Also, I'm finding rocks that have been thrown over in my yard. My dogs are barking because there's something not right. Jonna and Alan are falsifying police reports. Jonna has told the entire neighborhood, the entire subdivision, that she knows I assaulted my neighbor. But in the police report, there are no witnesses. I have surveillance cameras in case there are any more false accusations. Up here, you have a motion light where you see the flag. There's motion lights of someone, kids, my kids, anyone comes out in the back. There's a camera. There's another camera. That's from our home alarm system that came with our package. The surveillance cameras that we do have, it's for our protection on our property. There was one morning, we were returning from walking our dogs. A couple days later, I found out that there was a call placed through the emergency system saying that there was 2 suspicious black males in our neighborhood. When we leave our home, we do live in pairs. In case something happens, we do have a witness. They can ruin our lives.
Are you getting picked on in this situation? And if so, why?
You know, I have the slightest idea. I don't. Yes, we are being harassed.
Jonna says she comes over to introduce herself to you after being out of town, and that you're cussing her under your breath and accusing her of calling animal control and telling her to get her white ass back in the house.
First of all, that is not true at all. My sons and I interacted very well with Jonna.
I must live on a different planet.
Well, I know
I
that
had a
she
whole
did
different
state-
conversation with somebody else new. When I
He's
walked over to
asking me
introduce
questions.
myself.
When you introduce yourself, like I said before, we had a cordial
No,
conversation.
we did not. You
That was your
cussed me under your
interpretation?
breath.
Why would
You
I
were
curse you
cussing.
under my breath and I have never met you?
I went
That
home and
makes
asked
no
him.
sense.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I did not even know who you were. Didn't know your
Maritha,
name.
Own it. We're here. I'm here to get you help.
We're going to own some things?
I wrote in to get you help.
We're going to own some things? Wait a minute.
I wrote in to get help.
To get help for yourself, I'm
No, for
assuming,
you.
because you have some serious problems going on. Alan,
have no idea.
Hold on. Honey, you're digging into my past. You're digging into my past.
You need to get help.
You need to learn how to read and investigate. And you need to
something
hold
is
on.
not right.
Let's talk. Come on, can we try to talk like adults while we're on TV?
Not if you're going to lie.
See, that's your problem. You stood outside with my family and you called two of my nieces, one of my nephews, a half-breed, and a mulatto.
Lying through your teeth. I'll take a lie detector right now.
And you know what? I will take one because you said,
children.
First of all,
now
if we're going to be real, let's do one. Let's do one. And I want you to do one too because the machine is going to blow up. The machine is going to blow up. Yeah, see, let me explain something to you, Jonna. One thing I explained to you, and I explain it again here on TV. I have no problems with anyone.
Oh, really?
Until you start messing with my children.
You called the cops saying I stole your cat?
You do.
You have called.
You make me
called
answer.
The cops
Girl,
and
you a
said that
childish.
my
I'm done
kids
talking to you.
Were
I'm done.
too loud on the trampoline.
You have too much time on your hand to go through the neighborhood.
Did you steal her cat?
Heck no.
Did you steal Melanie's cat?
Nope, I didn't steal anyone's cat.
That's funny.
Somebody took the cat, or the cat's gone, right?
Yes, the cat tuxedo was gone. They stole our cat. There's 127 posts or Twitter with me tagged in it, my partner, and my son. We never responded to these people, okay? One of the tweets said, we have Tuxedo. He's a nice cat. We showed this to the police. He went over to the neighbor's home, came back and said that he found Tuxedo under their porch. 2 days later, Tuxedo was gone.
Well, we referred to Maritha's partner, Melanie. She's here, and we're going to meet her and talk about the mooning and the missing cat incidences as soon as we take a break. We'll be right back. Do you stand in your yard and meow like a cat to get under their skin?
Never. Meow?
You just did it. You just did it. Meow. So
Meow.
You know what she's talking about.
And later, you asked Maritha if she was into swinging. You're telling me that this woman came across the alley and asked you if...
We don't have alleys. Yes, she did.
This February.
They took my daughter away from me.
You're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper.
Emotions run higher.
Olivia's been stalking me.
Bring the restraining order. I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
You're in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie.
She's a saint. We're the bad people. Is that what you're telling me?
Betrayals cut deeper.
You stole from her childhood.
Your family does not believe you.
And it has nothing to do with him manipulating me.
You're right. It has everything to do with you not being a mother.
I love my sister, but I can't leave my dad behind. Why don't you believe me?
Plus,
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me.
Where is he gonna hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done.
Melanie, she'll do whatever Maritha tells her to do. My neighbor was watering his trees. Maritha comes out screaming at him. Melanie, she decides to pull her pants down. She's literally got her butt up in the air, pressed up against the window. Then Maritha comes outside screaming, kiss my ass. Melanie was charged with sexual misconduct because children were in our backyards.
Honey, I'm more than willing.
Well, Alan and Jonna say that Maritha's partner, Melanie, is a vindictive, sneaky racist who called them white devils and referred to their 5-year-old adopted daughter as Ling Ling. But Melanie says her neighbor Jonna is her worst nightmare and has not only launched verbal attacks at her, but also spread rumors that she mooned another neighbor, an accusation she vehemently denies.
It's a
Since we moved into our home, Jonna has just been our worst nightmare. On July 3rd, my family and I were preparing to have a barbecue. Jonna was outside yelling, "Mulatto, half-breed, go back to where you belong." That's just obscene. Jonna seems to really like to stir the pot. She had told our neighbors, I guess since I work for the police department, we had heavy artillery in our home. We have no guns. Jonna and Alan, they're big liars. I mean, I've never, and nor would I ever, moon anyone in this neighborhood or anywhere else. I have 3 sons here. I have a clean record. I'm a military vet. I would never in a million years do something that crazy. We are prisoners in our own home. We're under constant surveillance.
Well, we put this camera up along with a few more around the house so that we could monitor what's going on.
It's stressful to my sons. We're all going to therapy. I've lost my job. I should be able to be walking freely through my neighborhood, not be intimidated, not to be forced to move. I feel like I'm in a war with Jonna and Alan that's never going to end.
Did you moon a neighbor?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why would they say you mooned a neighbor?
I just think it's another tactic to, try to get us out of the neighborhood.
Why do we feel like we're having issues in the neighborhood? We got printouts from the dispatch saying that we don't belong in the neighborhood. This is an all-white neighborhood.
None of that came from us.
I'm sure.
You wouldn't dare bother to find out who
I bet
called.
I have no time to sit up all day.
Really? Why not? You don't work.
People like you.
None
or
of you guys
anyone else.
work
That's
on the
not
internet
right.
going, hey.
None of you guys
listen
work.
to me.
You have all the time in the world.
You don't work either. You run through the neighborhood doing
Going
things
back and
that
forth, talking
probably
back
a
and forth.
woman of good character should not be doing.
Do you stand in your yard and meow like a cat to get
Never.
under their skin?
Never. Meow?
That come from?
You
Does she-
just did it. You just did it. Meow. So you
Meow.
know what she's talking about.
What is she?
You just did it.
What?
Meow. So you know what she's talking about.
This
Ready?
What do you
lion,
mean she
show
stands and meows? What?
I'll be outside mowing the yard work and stuff, and I hear
Since
meow,
Tuxedo
meow.
was-
Since Tuxedo's been gone. Meow, meow, meow.
Is that the same thing like when you put on Twitter about Ling Ling, you want to go for a boat ride?
Who is Ling Ling?
There are tweets from Melanie, Maritha, and Christopher, and this is a tweet. How's Ling Ling? Too bad Mama is drunk, Ling Ling. I wanted some Asian cuisine. Okay, now who wrote that?
So what's wrong with saying Asian cuisine? We just had some yesterday. We just had some. I like Asian food. Now, I want to know who the hell is Ling Ling?
We're not attacking anybody and anything.
We're women, we're gay.
But you
okay?
were saying...
Now,
wait a minute. You were saying that there were no tweets like that and that nobody was talking about that. But here we have, how's Ling Ling? And that's from
So who is Ling
Melanie.
Ling?
She's Asian. She's adopted, innocent little girl.
So why are you correlating Ling Ling with your daughter?
Yeah, you think you're so smart. You're trying to manipulate this whole deal.
You need help, Hunt. You need help. You wrote in to really get yourself help.
No, you
so now, is that tagged to you?
So
you
Melanie,
wanted me to get help. So I'm trying to see
Melanie,
why you think
what
I
are
need
you
help.
talking about?
That is just like personal stuff back and forth between our friends.
Well, what does it mean?
You really want to know? Do you really want? Because we have toys that we name. I mean, honestly, I speak the truth. I'm not here to lie. Now, if you want to coordinate with your daughter with some names that we have, honey, go right on ahead. Have some fun in your life.
But you say Ling
Ling has nothing to do.
You say that has to do with a sex toy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And I'm sorry you would even put that with your daughter because that's sick. I don't play with little kids like that.
Okay. You've got Christopher up here who says we don't need gun control. We need cracker control. So
and
is
he
he talking about
friends.
crackers for his soup? Then
yes. Crackers for his soup. Yes.
Jonna says Maritha's 21-year-old son is a pervert that scared her children. We're going to meet him and hear what he has to say about these allegations next.
She probably was playing with him.
You told us you were in bed.
Can I not get out of bed and go in my own damn garage or my own damn property? The point is, I can be wherever I want on my property.
July 5th, my husband and I were asleep in bed, and we heard a loud explosive.
You can see on the video Maritha's 3 sons come out of the garage, light an explosive, and all 3 of them run back to the house when the explosion goes off.
We cannot believe that 3 children tried to blow my kid's swing set up. What's next? Is she going to try to kill us? Is she going to blow our house up?
Well, Jonna and Alan say their ongoing feud with their new neighbors has extended to Maritha's 21-year-old son, Christopher, who they claim set off explosives in their backyard. She referred to it as a mortar shell or something like that. Even though they claim they captured the explosion on their home surveillance cameras, Christopher denies having any involvement and says Jonna and Alan are lying and just trying to defame his character.
Jonna and Alan believe that I set off an explosive in their yard. She had a grainy video. I couldn't even tell if these were adults or grown men or little kids. They are obviously lying. I go to a very, very good university, and I would not jeopardize my presence at that university. It doesn't shock me that she would make these accusations because that's in her role as the malicious neighborhood gossip. They say that I sit in my kitchen window at all hours of the day and night and record them. I only record them in an effort to protect myself and my family from lies. I believe that Jonna is a racist. She also relies upon negative stereotypes of African-American people as being violent and criminal by nature. My worst fear is that the situation will spiral further out of control, and we will have another replay of the Mike Brown incident or the Trayvon Martin incident when one of my younger brothers, myself or my mother, will end up laying out there in the middle of that cul-de-sac dead.
Christopher, welcome. We've been looking at some of your tweets. When you're tweeting about we don't need gun control, we need cracker control, are you meaning we need to get the white folks under control in this neighborhood?
I very possibly might have been referring to them as some of our other neighbors that have been harassing and tormenting us since we moved into this neighborhood. I very well might have been. She's scared because my mother is a convicted felon. Martha Stewart is a convicted felon. So if Martha Stewart moved into the neighborhood, would you be afraid of her? Would you be doing all of these things to her? I think not.
And she also called you a pervert.
Yes, she did call me a pervert.
So those probably going to be some next false charges brought on you.
Probably. Because that's what I believe they're trying to do. They're trying to
do you believe that he was involved in setting off the explosion in your backyard?
Yes.
Were you?
No, I was not.
Do you know who was?
I do not know. It was July 5th. It was probably some little neighborhood kids running around playing with fireworks. Again, you have this narrative of black male as being violent, black male as being criminal.
Well, don't tell me I have a narrative. I'm asking questions. A narrative is a declarative statement. I'm asking questions, so I have no narrative.
They're declaring that we are violent, we are criminals, we are out to hurt them because, I don't know, they're saying that we're upset about them calling animal control on us and we have guns in the house and things like that. There's not even a slingshot in our house. We don't use guns. And we most certainly don't use explosives.
In the pre-interview, Christopher says the explosive happened at midnight and you were in bed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told us. Maritha says she never talked to the police about the fireworks and her sons were never questioned about it. Right?
When the police
came to wasn't arrested for it.
That's what you told us when we talked to you
When the police came to our house on that particular night, okay, they came to tell me something about a wanted for questioning that was out for me.
At midnight?
But when we looked at the St. Charles County Police Department incident report, it says Maritha exited the residence and asked why I was here, quote, this time. I informed her there were complaints of fireworks in the area. Maritha shared a slight laugh and stated she nor any of her family members set off any fireworks. There were 6 people at the residence, which included 3 younger black males, Maritha's sons. I explained what the video surveillance had showed. They denied having any knowledge of 3 subjects who had passed by their garage to conduct this act. This was of concern to residents, admitted to having been inside the garage with the door open when this incident occurred. Okay, but you told us you were in bed.
Yeah. Can I not get out of bed and go
Hold on. It says, wait. They said it was 6, okay? That was my play brother over there.
The point is, I could be wherever I want on my property.
Yes, you have the right to be anywhere you want to be. We'll be right back.
All right.
They believe that you are agitating with the other neighbors.
Quit accusing me of everything that happens.
Alan, it's you. It's you.
They accuse me of everything.
Thursday on an all-new Dr. Phil. Mom wants her child back.
You're very critical of the woman that adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper. She's allowed to party, to be with other men, but she's never with my daughter.
That's Thursday.
I believe that Maritha either wants to sue us or have our children taken away from us.
Maritha called DFS and made some accusations that I had a 3-year-old unsupervised.
Our oldest son was pulled out of class, which was very humiliating for him, and was questioned about my younger 2 children. And a social worker arrived at our home to investigate our house.
DFS found that it was a lie. This lady's sick and ill and bullying my children.
Did you call DFS and file a complaint?
Yes, I did. You want to know why?
Yes.
Because her daughter was out in the backyard with underwear on, she was not fully dressed. They were playing around the boat that was propped up against her house, okay? And along with, I don't know which one of her sons, the boat almost fell on the girl, and the girl was screaming. No one came out the house. No one.
What is a neighborly thing to do to just maybe
Is it a
kill
neighborly
her?
thing? Yes, to trying to protect children, yes, there is.
But if you really thought there was a danger, you could resolve that within 30 seconds with a phone call versus a week later, DFS comes out.
That was, because it takes them some time to come out.
Yeah,
and
but you could resolve...
By how?
If you just let her know. Everybody is just pointing fingers at each other, and nobody is taking any reasonable ownership of anything. If I ask you guys something, well, they did all this. I ask you, they did all this. I ask him anything, he quotes me as constitutional rights. I mean, come on. At some point, somebody has to have the common sense of saying, let's try to defuse the situation and get along. I mean, I made a list of the allegations that they have against you two, that you asked Maritha if she was into swinging. You're telling me that this woman came across the alley and asked you if...
We don't have alleys.
Well, whatever.
Right, where we used to live, and we felt safe in the alleys, yeah.
But she came over to you and asked if you were into swinging.
And part of her conversation, yes, she did, as she explained to me that he had some issues going on with bad checks. The conversation did go a lot of different ways, yeah.
Okay. And
that's the conversation
that she filed a restraining order because you were a convicted felon, told the entire neighborhood about your background, screamed if you people ever lived in a normal neighborhood, stole your cat, told neighbors you're from a bad area in North St. Louis, told neighbors you have heavy artillery in the house, took pictures, recorded the family, called Melanie a bitch and said, get out of my neighborhood, complained about Melanie to her boss and got her put on administrative leave.
I wouldn't even know the first phone number to call for her work.
Oh, really? Wow, your neighbor is one of my best co-workers, friends that you like to gossip to. How amazing.
Could they get this information?
From you.
But you said you did the investigation. You said at the beginning of the show you took time to investigate us.
Quit accusing me of everything that happens to them. It's not me calling. It's not. They accuse me of everything. There's 81 houses in my subdivision.
Yes, we have called.
But it's you going over to the other neighbors.
We've been going over to those neighbors
It's not Alan,
years.
it's you.
We've done
It's you.
Okay, let me interrupt here. At some point, everybody has to stop being a right fighter and start deciding that they're going to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem.
Yes, I totally agree.
And you'll start saying something and then you get all self-righteous and you bet you by God. Okay, that's fine. But if you want to decompress the situation, then you need to start finding a way to extend an olive branch on both sides here. They believe that you are agitating with the other neighbors. At some point, somebody has to say, you know what? Whatever has happened, the only time is now. The past is over. The future hasn't happened yet. The only time is now. I tell you what, we'll take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to put some verbs in my sentences and tell you exactly the 4 or 5 things that I think both of these guys need to do to have some peace.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. Well, I'm back with some neighbors. They've not been very neighborly. For one reason or another, things really got off on the wrong foot here. And being the incurable optimist, I certainly hope that it isn't a racial issue. It doesn't feel like that to me. And I really hope that at some point you can decide, you know what? I'm going to hit the reset button here, and I'm going to decide that whatever has happened has happened. I mean, do you think that you have conducted yourselves perfectly in this situation?
No. You mean towards them?
Yes.
No.
Do you think you've conducted yourselves perfectly in this situation?
Absolutely not, no.
You know, y'all's attorney is here. This is Venus Harry. You're the attorney for these folks, and you're having to represent them with some of the things that have spun up out of all of this, which, God, I hope all that goes away. But what you really want, I suspect, is for them to have what I'm talking about is the peaceful existence in their own home, right?
That's correct. I mean, everyone wants to be comfortable in their home. And it's really sad when your home has become the place where accusations get levied against you, and now we go into courts, and now we're having judges and attorneys deal with neighborhood issues, but when you're accused of something, you have no other choice but to hire someone to defend you.
We need to de-escalate this whole thing. You need to ask yourselves, what can I do to improve this situation? If you're sitting there thinking, well, okay, then that bitch you're going to get away with lying. Okay, so maybe each of you see things from a bit of a different point of view. Okay, you've not walked in her shoes or her shoes in the years that they've been in this world. You don't know what they've been through that causes them to see the world from a different perspective. And you two have not walked through their world. You don't know what she's grown up with or what's in her past. You don't know what he's grown up with or what's in his past. You don't know other people's experiences. You just have to decide, you know, we can choose to say, you know, I'm gonna try to outdo the other side on being a hero in this situation. I am gonna be the one that extends the olive branch. I'm gonna be the one that just says, hey, if there's going to be a blow up here, it's just simply not going to be me. Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. Now, has she offended you? Has she offended you? I'm sure they have, because I'll bet you get her wrapped up. I'll bet you she's got a rapid-fire mouth on her that could go. And I've got a picture of you testifying from your patio over there, like a wide-mouthed bass. There you go. So,
like you're in a marathon.
I like that picture, though.
I do. I like passion. But why don't we just relax and everybody de-escalate this situation? I guarantee you would feel a whole lot better about everything if you did. Can you do that?
I'm willing to try, most definitely.
Seriously. And if you get a chance, everybody in your neighborhood, I'm going to have a big rating in y'all's neighborhood. Everybody's going to watch this. And so I'm talking to everybody in this neighborhood, all 81 houses, Well, there's 79 of you because 2 of you are here. The other 79 of you, look, be good role models for your children. Reach out across the abyss, and you might learn something you didn't know otherwise. But I want you to tell me you're going to take a fresh perspective here, hit the reset button, and start this over.
I've been willing to do that all along.
I didn't ask you.
Sorry. Yes, I am willing.
About how righteous your spirit is.
No,
I asked you if you were willing to do that.
Yes, I am.
Look at her and say, I'm willing to
get past this. I'm willing to push the reset button.
And you're willing to push the reset button.
I've already pushed it.
And I didn't ask you. Man, you just got to re-up them every time, don't you? Good God. Going to have a cage match here. You're willing to hit the reset button.
Yes,
and you're willing to hit the reset button, okay? And I know you are, right? Okay. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Venus Harry for being here. I know you support what I'm saying up here.
I do.
I want to de-escalate this, and I hope the neighbors that are watching, I hope everybody takes a step back here. This doesn't need to be resolved in the courts. Come on, let's start this whole thing over. Let's let this be an example that others can follow. Wouldn't that be great if everybody looked at this and followed this example? Log on to drphil.com and share your thoughts on our message boards. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter using hashtag Dr. Phil and hashtag feuding neighbors. We will see you next time. John, thank you.
Today, on a powerful all-new Dr. Phil.
How did you find out your daughter had died?
I found it on TV.
Oh, my Lord.
2 Virginia Tech students have been arrested after a 13-year-old girl was found dead.
Accused of plotting Nicole Lovell's murder.
Her mugshot looks like she has a scar going down her face. I'm pretty sure that would have been my daughter. I know she fought like a wildcat.
A warning for every parent.
Nicole had been talking to older guys. I took her phone from her.
Do you have those screenshots?
No parent should ever have to go through what we went through.
New details from the victim's family.
To think of the nightmare my baby went through.
Do you think she was abducted or seduced?
A Dr. Phil exclusive.
I'm sorry. It's hard to look at him.
Well, how do you feel when you look at him?
I would like to get locked up in the same cell with him. I'm pretty sure I could get answers out of him.
What have police told you about how she died? On January 27, 13-year-old Nicole Lovell's family experienced every parent's worst nightmare. Their innocent young daughter vanished into thin air, leaving her bedroom door barricaded with a dresser and her window wide open. She had taken her cell phone and her special blanket decorated with cartoon minions, but left behind her life-saving medication. Her parents and police were baffled. As troubling clues started to surface, police began to fear the worst. Was Nicole kidnapped from her room? Did she run away to meet up with an older stranger? She seemed more interested in her stuffed animals than she was in boys, but as the frantic search continued, a secret online world came to light.
A little schoolgirl vanishes from her home. Her family finds a nightstand pushed against her bedroom door.
She crawled out the window with her cell phone and her Minion blanket.
Family of a missing Blacksburg teenager is pleading for her safe return home.
13-year-old Nicole Lovell was last seen about midnight Tuesday at her family's apartment.
Someone has to know something about Nicole's whereabouts. The night she disappeared, NBC says Nicole showed a friend text from an 18-year-old man she said she was planning to meet.
The little schoolgirl tells her friends about a secret boyfriend.
The ground search began earlier this afternoon. A drone from Virginia Tech also aided in the search from the air. Nicole has taken meds twice a day since she had a liver transplant when she was just 10 months old. Her family says she has never gone this long without taking it.
She needs her medicine really bad.
Nicole's family says they believe someone is responsible for her disappearance, and that person is making their lives a nightmare.
This community is known for stepping up, and we need them to do that at this time as we pray for the return of a beautiful young girl.
Tragically, within days of her disappearance, Nicole was found dead by the side of the road. It didn't take long before police started to unravel what they suspected to be a twisted plot. It all began on what could have been any average night out for two Virginia Tech college students. The boy, an engineering major and collegiate athlete. The girl, a driven student who interned at NASA, ate at a restaurant, then went shopping like any normal teens. But prosecutors say they weren't just hanging out and running errands. They were allegedly plotting Nicole's brutal murder and then buying the shovel they eventually used to bury her body.
A shocking murder case in the state of Virginia where two Virginia Tech students have been arrested after a 13-year-old girl was found dead 3 days after she went missing.
Missing 13-year-old Nicole Lovell's remains were found by police today. They say that her body was found in Surrey County, North Carolina, near the state's border.
My daughter, Nicole Lovell, Coley is what we called her, had a passion for pandas, music, dancing, dreamed of being on American Idol.
Virginia Tech University students David Eisenhower and Natalie Keepers were arraigned in connection with Lovell's murder.
A murder mystery that has puzzled investigators.
Nicole's connection to Eisenhower and Keepers may be social media. According to NBC News, Nicole was active on Twitter and a Facebook forum called Teen Dating and Flirting.
Eisenhower used this relationship to his advantage to abduct and then kill her.
At the Maryland High School, where he was a star athlete, his former principal said the teen fit in like any other student.
Very goal-driven, focused on his academics, but he also was very focused on running.
Prosecutors spell out alarming new details about the killing of Blacksburg teen Nicole Lovell.
Commonwealth's attorney Mary Pettit said Natalie Keepers killed someone she never even met because she wanted to be part of something secret and special with David Eisenhower. She says the two plotted and planned, even sat inside a Blacksburg restaurant to bounce ideas off each other long before Nicole disappeared. The plan, Pettit said, was to lure Nicole Lovell out of her house under the guise of a date with Eisenhower and take her to a remote location where he would kill her. At one point, they bought a shovel and picked out the location for the killing.
Did one lure the little girl online, the other mastermind dumping her body by the highway like she's trash.
Prosecutors say Eisenhower stabbed Nicole to death. Then Keepers helped load her body into the trunk of Eisenhower's Lexus to dump it. Pettit says they drove to a Walmart to buy cleaning supplies.
13-year-old Nicole Lovell was laid to rest today. A large turnout as family and friends gathered to remember Nicole and say their final goodbyes.
Nicole touched many people throughout her short life.
You may have noticed that we have no studio audience today. This is due to the very sensitive nature of this story and how fresh this tragedy is for this grieving family. Nicole's father, David Lovell, is here today in an exclusive interview, speaking out for the first time since the tragic loss of his daughter. One thing you won't hear me say today is I know how you feel.
Yes, sir.
Nobody can, right?
I don't even really know how I feel. You know, how lost can you be when you lose your youngest daughter, especially to the way my daughter was taken from us.
What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you saying to yourself at this point?
Well, I was asked the other day, when is it time for Dad to mourn, the loss of my daughter? I said, I'm constantly mourning, but I have to stay strong for my other kids and my family. But as far as feeling on the inside, just a shell of a man. There's so much heartbreak and regret, all the good memories that me and Nicole had, all the bad memories that me and Nicole had, they all kind of run in together. It's always the thought in the back of your mind, well, what if I would have been more there, more into her life, more of a part of her life? I'm going to stop this.
How did this happen? How in the world did you go from what we're seeing right here to her being taken from this world? How in the world did we get in this situation?
Now, see, that's what I'm asking myself. How can it go from, me and my happy little girl, to, hell, she was murdered a few days later, I talked to her, it was about a week before she went missing, and everything was normal, She was, my little baby girl. And
no signs?
No, not to me. There wasn't. This social media and the kick and everything, even the things they teach in the kids in school, seems to be making them so smart that if they want to keep their parents out of it, they can.
She was still a child.
Yes, sir.
I mean, this bear that you have, she loved pandas.
She loved pandas. And actually one of her best friends, Natalie, gave this to me at Nicole's viewing, to keep with me as a reminder of Nicole.
Did she ever talk to you about having a boyfriend or anything?
Not to me. When she talked about having a boyfriend, it was a joke. She was kind of like, Dad, I have a boyfriend, this and that, because she knows, she was my baby. If she told me that she had a boyfriend, I would just thought she was joking, because she's not going to admit that to me.
Right. She was 13.
Yes, sir.
This little girl had fought off death more than once.
Oh, yes, sir. She was a miracle child. She was. I did not think that she would make it to her 5th birthday.
Right. And why not? What was wrong with her?
Well, she had her liver transplant.
And why did she have to have a liver transplant?
When she was born, her liver was deformed and it was on the outside. And after that, she had MRSA.
She had a tracheotomy scar.
Yes, sir.
And when was the tracheotomy?
It was during the liver transplant.
Did she ever talk to you about it? Did she ever say, why me? Why do I have to go through this?
Not really. I mean, she would talk to me a little bit about being bullied.
What would they bully her about?
Her scar, her trachea scar. And because of some of the medication, she was a little heavier.
So how did it affect her when they did that?
Try to explain to her, girl, you're beautiful. I done what any dad would do. Tried to talk my daughter up as high as I could, because I know that she was an angel.
Right.
And kids can be mean.
When she left, she took a small suitcase with her.
As far as I know, she took...
And she had a blanket.
A few things, yes, sir. I do know she had the blanket with her.
And tell me about that blanket.
It was, a small child's blanket, a Minions. It was a Minions blanket, kind of like a blankie.
And when she goes out the window, she takes that blankie with her.
But she did not take her medications. That's the big question in my mind.
Was she responsible about taking her medication?
She knew that her medications is what kept her alive, yes. Like 7:15 in the morning, 3:15 in the afternoon, and then another one before bed at night, for her liver transplant.
Right.
Anti-rejection medicines.
So she knows, even if she's like going off and thinking, I'm just going to go have this wonderful love connection, love tryst or whatever, she knew, I'm going to have to get back for my medicine.
Exactly.
Or I'm not going to be very good company by afternoon.
Exactly. And by nighttime, she's going to start convulsing, going into a coma type situation.
Does that tell you that she predicted being back in time to take the next dosage?
That's what I think.
Do you think she was abducted or seduced?
I do not know. That's a good question. You know, a girl with self-esteem issues anyway, if somebody told her some good things about her, of course it would be easy to seduce, you know, a bullied little girl.
This young man that's accused of taking her life was older.
Yes, sir.
And in college. Would this be someone that she would be vulnerable to his attention, that she would be vulnerable to his affections, that he could turn her head?
Honestly, sorry, it's hard to look at him.
Well, how do you feel when you look at him?
I would like to get locked up in the same cell with him. I'm pretty sure I could get answers out of him. I mean, you know, took my little girl. We found out that Nicole had been on social media talking to inappropriate people, talking to older guys, which you could tell these older guys had fake profiles.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, her teenage child became a mother.
They took my daughter away from me.
You're saying the government basically kidnapped your child.
They could have helped us, but instead they ripped us apart.
Now,
you're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper.
This outraged mom
She's a pathological liar, and she's a horrible role model for my daughter.
wants her baby back.
She doesn't see her as a daughter. She sees her as a trophy, and she likes to keep her trophy shiny.
Why are you attacking this woman?
We can't question her. We can't judge her.
You're very upset.
Because you lied. That's my problem with you.
I'm going to stop this right now because you are so self-destructing here.
That's tomorrow.
2 Virginia Tech students are now in custody in connection to the death of Nicole Lovell.
Police say Eisenhower knew Lovell beforehand and planned her death.
Do you have any doubt that it was him?
In my mind, I don't know. I know he played a part. I'll go that far. As far as who was the mastermind, who planned it, you know, there's rumors, but I don't know. But I know that there was some connection.
How did you find out that she died?
I found out on bed. I found it on TV.
Oh, my Lord.
Now, I can't
so
say
sorry.
anything about the Blacksburg Police Department, Virginia State Police, or the FBI about that, because that was simply a screw-up. They simply forgot, basically, to let me know that that was coming out in the news conference. They did. They explained. They apologized and said it would never anything like that happen again.
You knew she had been missing?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we knew 3 days. As soon as she went missing, Nicole's mother, Tammy, had called me at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know if she had called the police yet. She said the only thing that they knew was Nicole had been in contact with someone named David. My name's David. So they immediately called me.
So how did she find out she was missing? Did she tell you?
She went in to give Nicole her morning dose of anti-rejection medicine. There was something blocking the door, but when Tammy went in, the window was open. She realized Nicole was gone.
So she had to push the door open?
As far as I know, yes, sir.
And she thought, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
This can't be good. Whatever happened, whether somebody came and got her or she went out, this is not good.
Because the temperature that night was 21 degrees, 22 degrees, something like that, you know. So I'm sure Tammy did completely freak out, especially only thing Nicole took was a blanket and maybe a long-sleeve shirt.
When Nicole's mother called you, did y'all's mind immediately go to this social media?
Yes, sir.
Did either of you ever talk to her about being on the internet?
It was addressed before Christmas, actually. We found out that Nicole had been on social media talking to inappropriate people. For a 13-year-old little girl, I thought some of the things that were said was inappropriate from my daughter. So Nicole's phone was supposed to be taken, disposed of, whatever. Any kind of contact with anything, and obviously.
So this was right before Christmas?
Yes, it was. The last time I saw Nicole was December 19th. It was the last time I saw her alive.
What sites was she on that caused you to be concerned?
Kick. was the main one.
She was on Kick then in December.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're talking about Kick, and so people know Kick is a popular messaging app. Law enforcement officials say the trouble with it is it shields the user's true identities, and it's used by 40% of American teenagers. What did you and her mother see that caused you concern? You said some of the things she was saying you didn't like.
Of course not. I mean, no father wants to see things like that coming out of their daughter. Talking to older guys, which you could tell these older guys had fake profiles. They were pretending to be young guys.
How could you tell that?
Just by the way you can tell a fake picture on the internet. I mean, you can from a profile. Some of the things they said were way too grown up for the picture they had.
It's obvious to you, but was it obvious to her?
To Nicole, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And how did you see it? Did she show it to you? Did you?
Well, over Christmas, I took her phone from her and looked at it. When I saw it that way, my daughter in Ohio had dug around in Nicole's Instagram accounts and Kick and so on, and she screenshotted me a few of those, you know, and let me know, hey, Dad, you know, my little sister's screwing up here. Y'all need to do something.
Do you have those screenshots?
I'm pretty sure.
I would love to see those. They would be such powerful teaching tools.
They would.
For parents in America.
That's my mission, you know. To heck with the dad that lost his daughter. That's not the point. I want to get out the word for the next little girl that might get in this situation, or the next dad that might lose his daughter. You know, let's shut this down so it don't happen again.
I don't say heck with this dad that's lost his daughter. You matter now. This isn't just a teaching tool. You matter now. What did you see in those messages that made you think of that the minute she went missing?
It was him and her girlfriend, boyfriend, she found out, killed my daughter.
So you don't know yet in your mind and heart whose hand she actually died in.
This February, beautiful twin sisters.
These two needles are like my children.
Hitting rock bottom.
You said we're out hooking for drugs, and we get more because we're twins.
I would do anything to have them back. But they can't.
Oh, my God. Do not make excuses for these girls to their sisters.
More emotion. More surprises. More drama. And we're just getting started.
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me. Where is he going to hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done.
The little schoolgirl tells her friends about a secret boyfriend. It's critical evidence located inside the perp's car.
They were sleigh riding in the snow in the back on the hill, and she was talking about this boyfriend she had that was 18 and went to college, and his name was David. And it showed some text messages off of Kick.
What did you see in those messages that made you think of that the minute she went missing? What was in those messages that made you go, that social media, this older guy?
Well, that's it. I mean, she would not have had contact with any older guys, especially without social media. And I don't really know how to say it, but for my daughter to just run away, that's not my daughter. You know, it almost was instantly, you know, something had to have happened.
Why would this young man that is alleged to have killed your daughter, why would he do that?
I don't know. It was him and her girlfriend, boyfriend, she found out, killed my daughter. I don't know. You know, that's one thing. Were Nicole and this boy having some sort of relationship, some sort of talk, some sort of contact? My daughter, Nicole, you know, wanted to report it or something to that effect, and they killed her for that. I don't know. It's just so hard to fathom, you know, how two people could do it at all, much less trying to make sense of it, to think of the nightmare my baby went through.
So you don't know yet, in your mind and heart, whose hand she actually died in?
No, sir.
You know, one theory, as hard as it may be to hear, is that this alleged predator that's alleged to have murdered your daughter had a relationship with her where he had raped her and murdered her to cover it up.
That's one detail that I don't know. I do not know. Nobody,
that's all allegation.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I do not know about the sexual anything. They have not told me. No one has told me. Whether it happened, probably.
Yeah. That's one possible motive.
Most definitely.
You know, but and again, these are all allegations.
Exactly. And there's so many unanswered questions right now that I don't want to speculate too much, because then I'm just going to drive myself crazy.
Evidence alleged is that this had been planned for a good while.
That's what I'm hearing, yes, sir.
This was very premeditated.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, months they've been planning this.
What have police told you about how she died? What was her likely reaction at the time?
I bet she fought like a wildcat. The keeper's girl in her mugshot looks like she has a scar. That would have been my daughter trying to fight back. The plan was that my daughter's dead.
And do you know if that was done?
My daughter, Nicole Lovell, Coley is what we called her. She was born May 3rd, 2002. Coley had a passion for pandas, music, dancing. Dreamed of being on American Idol someday. Her favorite color was blue. Nicole was a very lovable person. Nicole touched many people throughout her short life.
Nicole's mother, how is she doing?
She's broken. Nicole disappeared from her place. So Tammy she's completely devastated.
What have police told you about how she died?
Well, I know she was stabbed. And I know that they even said this in court, that the plan was for him to cut Nicole's throat, to cut my daughter's throat. That's all I know. Take her to some spot in Montgomery County and cut her throat. Montgomery County, Virginia.
And do you know if at least that was done?
I know her throat was not cut. But I do know she was stabbed to death.
David, I'm so sorry. I'm just...
At the funeral home, when they brought her to the funeral home, I couldn't look at her body. I don't want to know where she was stabbed. I don't want to know if there was any kind of, how does the dad say this, of what my daughter went through. I know that she was murdered. And I know that I want justice for that. But as far as going in and seeing the wounds and so on, I'm not man enough to handle that. I couldn't be as strong as I am right now if I would have seen that.
Knowing your daughter as you do,
yes, sir.
What was her likely reaction at the time?
I bet she fought like a wildcat. She's my kid. I know she fought like a wildcat. The keeper's girl in her mugshot looks like she has a scar right there. You can see it in those pictures right there. You can see the scar going down her face. And I'm pretty sure that would have been my daughter trying to fight back.
Don't know if that's from her or not.
I do not.
It would certainly indicate that you wouldn't be surprised if that was from your daughter.
No, sir. No, sir. She would not have gone out without a fight.
You were in court.
I was.
What happened in court?
I didn't take my eyes off of her. I wanted every reaction from this girl.
You looked at her pretty hard.
Oh, yes, sir.
And what did you see?
If I could have killed her with my eyes, I would have.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, Mom wants her child back.
You're very critical of the woman that adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper. She's allowed to party, to be with other men, but she's never with my daughter.
tomorrow.
You were in court.
I was.
What happened in court?
At the bond hearing for keepers. Well, they brought her out, and the lawyers, of course, they gave a spiel as to why, this girl deserved bond. And, I was just awed by the gall of these people to even ask for bond. And, all right, for an example, one of the reasons why she stated she needed bond was because she wasn't getting her gluten-free meals in jail. I wish I gave about her gluten-free meals. She said in court that she had battled with depression, that she was in some counseling at Virginia Tech. She had been bullied as a kid. What I want to know is how in the hell did that make her feel bullying my kid? Wouldn't that be a reason to help my daughter through this, not help end her life?
Did she actually speak in the hearing?
Yes, sir.
Keepers took the stand as she pled for bail, describing how she thought about suicide in 8th and 9th grade and started cutting. A psychiatrist prescribed medication for anxiety attacks and depression. Part of her argument for requesting bail was the jail is only giving her half the prescribed dose.
They said that they had cut her depression medication in half while she was in jail. I mean, what's the issue? She's in jail for murdering my daughter. I don't give a damn how depressed you are. You're good, be depressed.
Were they basically offering testimony as to her good character?
Yes, where she had never been in trouble before, and she was such a good student, and she was a NASA intern.
She had been part of some club? Disney princess?
Or something like that. I was so mad even to see this girl asking for bond.
It was reported that her lawyer stated that she had been a Disney princess, and that when he said that she laughed out loud.
I'm not sure. She was, on the other side of the courtroom, and I really didn't hear her laugh. Every time she looked at me or Tammy or my wife, she would look down. I didn't take my eyes off of her. I wanted every reaction from this girl.
You looked at her pretty hard?
Oh, yes, sir.
And what did you see?
If I could have killed her with my eyes, I would have.
Does she get the gravity of what she did?
I believe that she has regrets, kind of, for what she did, but they did not realize what they were doing when they did it. She looked just like that, right there, through court the entire time. She would smile, she would giggle sometimes, or she would look completely, devastated sometimes.
If you're charged with the death and disposal of a child's body, what would be the occasion to giggle?
Exactly.
What would she giggle about?
I have no idea. I mean, it was like pouring salt on a wound, I wish that the girl didn't have a right to smile, period. I don't care why she was giggling. There's nothing that's not sick and twisted about it.
She is reported to have made the statement that being involved in this murder, she felt that she was involved in something, quote, secretive and special, close quotes. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's a sick, twisted outlook on anything, especially the murder of another human being, much less the murder of a kid. Why in the hell would you go kill a kid? It makes no sense, Dr. Phil.
Did her parents speak?
Her parents did speak. My heart goes out to their parents, to Keeper's parents, because the dad got on, and he was truly, you could tell that he was awestruck by all this. They were completely in the dark. And, I mean, he's lost his daughter, too.
Did they show empathy for you?
No.
But yet you have empathy for them?
I'm a bigger man than they are, I guess.
Well, Nicole's stepbrother, Levi, is just 1 year older than Nicole. Was he also on this Kick app? I'd like to know what he knew about his little sister's private online world when we come back.
No parent should ever have to go through what we went through. I just thought, she would be found, come back home.
If
you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445. Well, I'm so glad to meet the two of you and so terribly sorry for the occasion. Levi, I know you miss your sister.
Yeah.
Has it sunk in that she's gone?
Yeah, it sunk in the day that she went missing.
What was she like?
She was wonderful. I mean, she was my little sister. We used to play and run outside and everything, and ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes and everything else.
Yeah. When she went missing, what did you think?
I just thought, you know, she would be found in somebody's apartment or come back home.
Did she ever talk to you about this guy that she was talking to on Kick?
No, the last time that I talked to her was the 19th of December.
And are you on that app?
I deleted it as soon as I found out.
What was she like to be around?
Nicole was a joy all the time. No matter if you were down, if you were having the worst day in the world, Nicole could pick you up and, you know, your day was bright again. She loved life, period, and anything in it. She loved to go shopping. Me and her, you know, I'm not really a big shopper, but she, you know, anytime she was around, that's what she wanted to do. You know, let's go to the mall, let's go get her hair, you know, whatever.
Did she ever tell you about any boyfriends or anything?
Back, you know, around Thanksgiving, she actually messaged me and said that she was being bullied at school, and there was a few girls that were picking on her because, you know, she was a little overweight. You know, and I basically did what any mom would do. You know, I tried to build her up, tried to tell her, you know, Nicole, you're so much bigger than that. You are smarter and beautiful. You know, she was a gorgeous little girl. She had a lot of self-esteem issues. The little girls picking on her at school didn't help that at all.
What do you think about these kids that were bullying her at school?
Kids are mean, but I don't think that they realize the damage they do to each other when they do bully or when they do pick on someone.
There are kids sitting there knowing, I bullied this girl. It affected her self-esteem, which made her vulnerable to being manipulated. And let me tell you, if your child is one of those people, you don't want to be in denial about that. You need to pull your head out of the sand and recognize that your child might be saying, my God, I bullied that poor girl. That made her vulnerable to some predator, and now she's dead. You need to help them face and deal with the gravity of what role they may have played. That child may be really feeling a lot of guilt, not ever having thought that this could have happened. What do you want people to learn from your sharing Nicole's story here?
Keep an eye on your kids. I mean, it's simple. It's not that hard. Keep an eye on their phones, on the computer. Any kind of social media they might have their passwords. You know, I'm not saying keep your kids away from everything, but at least be able to monitor what they are doing.
No parent should ever have to go through what we went through, and it was all preventable.
If you could roll the clock back, what would you do differently in this situation?
As soon as I heard about the social media apps and so on, the inappropriate things that were going on, I would have taken her phone, I would have put her, you know, I would have locked her down. And, you know, I would have grabbed her up and hugged her and told her, you're so loved, you know, you don't need to be worrying about all these boys, and you're beautiful as who you are. And so many regrets I wasn't there for her when she needed me. There's no way to roll back the time.
Do you blame yourself for this?
I point a lot of blame at myself. Yeah. Yeah. As if I would have been there, maybe she wouldn't have went looking for acceptance from older guys. I mean, there's regrets I'll have and I'll never get over it. There's no amount of punishment for those two can give me my daughter back.
We do have a statement from KIC. KIC cooperates with law enforcement to combat child predators anywhere in the world, either upon provision of a court order or in emergency situations such as this one.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, Mom wants her child back.
You're very critical of the woman that adopted your baby.
She looks like a stripper. She's allowed to party, to be with other men, but she's never with my daughter.
That's tomorrow.
Want to get something off your chest? Sign up for the drphil.com community and weigh in on your favorite episodes and share your personal stories with other community members. Plus, get started on your own blog to share your thoughts on the topics that interest you most. I'll be reading those message boards. Log on to drphil.com today. We reached out to attorneys for David Eisenhower and Natalie Keepers. We did not receive a response before our broadcast deadline. I know that you haven't been there for your daughter as much as you would like, but you know that you've always had the best intentions, even if you didn't have the best outcome. You've never been anything other than a loving force and a soft place to fall for your children. You got to give yourself that. You said you have to be strong right now for your family and your other kids. I learned a long time ago that old saying, big boys don't cry, but men do.
Yes, sir. That's a fact.
You've got other children, and they don't need part of their father. They need all of their father.
Yes, sir.
They need their father's tears. They need their father's joy. They need all of it. You don't need to pretend. You got a wonderful young man down here. I mean, look at him. He's bright-eyed. He's bushy-tailed. He's healthy. I mean, Levi's a good kid. And you're not fooling him. Do you think he doesn't know that you're dying inside?
Oh, he knows.
Of course he does. And you need to show him that it's okay to hurt.
Right.
It's okay to be angry one day. It's okay to cry one day. And, look for the good things that are still there and celebrate her life. I don't like to spend time on the ugly and the perpetrators without celebrating the victim. This is just a wonderful poem that was written, and you wanted to read that, and I wish you would take a minute and do that.
Okay. I am with my Lord now. Although my time on earth is through, I will forever be in your heart. No more tears for me, you see. We will never be apart. I will walk among angels now. This is just amazing to see. No matter what, I want you to know one day you'll be with me. I may be gone, and this makes you sad, but know that I will always love you, and I'm with my Lord now, Mom and Dad. And that was from Justice for Children Without Voices charity by Anna Lyle and Misty Staples.
Some of the children that she knew wrote such beautiful things. Nicole will always be my bestie. We love her. We miss her. Kaylee wrote that. You'll be in my prayers. Bree wrote that. Nicole was a beautiful soul. Maggie wrote that. Here's another card. She loved pandas.
Yes,
the panda card, and so many of her classmates all signed that. I want people to remember how many people loved and cared about her.
Sir.
So I want to thank Nicole's family for bravely sharing their story. And listen, it's not spying on your children. It's not being intrusive to plug in and know what's going on. These days, you have to know where your children are all the time. They can be back in their bedroom. You think they're doing their homework, but in fact, they're online talking to people that they may not know. You're not the only voice in your child's ear, so you need to make sure you are the best voice in your child's ear. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nicole's family, and we wish them peace and healing. Now let's remember this beautiful, vibrant little girl who was taken away far too soon. Thanks for watching.
Coley had a passion for pandas, music, dancing, dreamed of being on American Idol someday.
She fought so hard to get to this point in her life, and it's just heartbreaking.
Her favorite color was blue. Nicole was a very lovable person. Nicole touched many people throughout her short life.
Remember her as the happy child she was, the girl that everybody loved.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I miss my daughter so much.
We're going to finally meet the woman in the sequin dress.
Adoptive mom versus birth mom.
Olivia's been harassing me, stalking me. I have not. Julia and Olivia had both made comments about how I'm trashy, I'm a kidnapper, I stole their child.
How far will the family go
Bring the restraining order. I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
to get the baby back?
Why are you attacking this woman? She did not take your baby away from
But Dr.
you.
Phil...
You're in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie. You're on self-destruct. That's not going to get you the most of what you want.
She's a saint. We're the bad people. Is that what you're telling me?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you much, thank you much. All right, yesterday we heard some outrageous accusations from Julia and her daughter Olivia. Olivia says she has been on a 5-year quest to get her daughter Evelyn back, who was put into the foster care system when Olivia was a struggling teen mom. Now, eventually, the baby was adopted by a woman named Jillian. Now, grandmother Julia claims this adoption was unlawful, their rights were violated, and the foster mom lied and manipulated Olivia in order to keep Evelyn as her own. Here is what happened so far.
When I learned my 15-year-old daughter, Olivia, was pregnant, I was shocked. She said, this is my baby and I'm keeping it.
When I went into labor with my daughter, they brought her up right on my chest. We all cried. It was the most amazing thing.
We were homeless living in the car.
I asked my friend if he would watch Evelyn really quick while I go across the street to the Jackson box. A police officer stopped me and asked me how old I was. The next thing I know, I'm in the back of a cop car.
Eventually, my little sister and I ended up in foster care, and they took my daughter away from me.
You're saying the government came in and basically kidnapped your child.
There really was no reason why they took her.
I believe this adoption was illegal because CPS falsified documents. They saw a beautiful, healthy, happy baby, and they saw a teen mom, and they pounced.
You're very critical of the woman that has adopted your baby.
Yes.
My granddaughter was adopted by this woman named Jillian.
This woman is the most immature, stupid, retarded, ugly person I've ever met in my life.
I do believe that she manipulated the adoption.
By lying to Child Protective Services. I mean, what a narcissistic little tick.
She looks like a stripper.
I would give my life if I could just see her again. I wrote her an email and I said, I just want to know everything's okay. She ignored me. She doesn't see her as a daughter. She sees her as a trophy, and she likes to keep her trophy shiny.
Whoa, wait a minute. How do you know all of this from a picture? Because she owns a sequin dress doesn't make her a bitch. Your story goes a whole lot better when you're the only one telling it. You ain't as squeaky clean as everybody thinks. Who has possession?
Jillian does.
Who has the power?
She does.
And so what you're going to do is piss off the person with the baby?
I have tried so hard to be nice, and I have no one else to turn to.
The enemy here is not Jillian. We're going to finally meet the woman in the sequin dress. Now, due to a restraining order in place, the baby's birth mother, Olivia, has been asked to leave the stage so we can talk to Jillian. They have to stay 100 yards apart. Now, Jillian, a foster parent, says she fell in love with Evelyn the first moment she saw her and was thrilled to make her a permanent member of her family when the opportunity arose. Take a look.
I wasn't able to have children of my own, and I always wanted children. I fostered 6 children. I've adopted 2 of them. Olivia's parental rights were taken away because she had been leaving the group home. She was diagnosed bipolar and borderline personality disorder, and she wasn't attending school. I had absolutely no say in whether her parental rights were taken away. After the adoption, it was my choice to not have any contact with Olivia. It was 100% up to me. I wasn't going to have a mother, biological or not, in and out of my child's life. I know Olivia was upset. There have been claims that I lied to her and I was going to help her get her child back. I've never stated that. Olivia's been harassing me. She's been following me. She's been stalking me. In 2012, I saw Olivia drive by my house. I was walking outside to come get the mail. Initially, I recognized her pink hair, and I saw her face, and she drove off. It was Olivia. Since then, Olivia showed up at my daughter's school requesting pictures of my daughter. Julia downloaded my profile picture on Facebook and made comments about how I was a working girl. Julia and Olivia have both made comments about how I'm trashy, I'm a kidnapper, I stole their child. But recently, I've had to file a restraining order against Olivia. My biggest fear with Olivia is that she's going to take my child. I want Olivia to leave me alone. I adopted a beautiful baby girl, and I have every right to not be harassed and stalked.
All right, Jillian, thank you for being here. Olivia has said very critical things about you, and you have as well.
I have what?
Said critical things about her as a person.
I have stated things that I know are fact.
You put this up on your Facebook page.
Yes, I did, and that was on a Facebook page that was set to private where she was
blocked.
I
need answers. Does this look like a good mother to let adopt your baby? Everyone is welcome to comment because this is who Ventura County Child Services gave my granddaughter to after they took and stole her from my daughter.
My Facebook is set to private, friends only. You better Google your name. Yeah, there's quite a bit of pictures.
Should I run a background check on myself, too?
If you're interested to know what you are.
I know exactly what I am.
I don't think you do.
She has my niece and her granddaughter, and she's in Vegas.
Well, then you know what? Let's take it a step further. Then Olivia should have never lost the baby because all she did is go try to bum a cigarette from a Jack-in-a-Box.
But that's not her fault. Hell, my wife owns a sequin dress.
Okay, well, don't pick on Robin because we all love Robin.
No,
you know, I mean,
seriously, Robin's...
okay.
There's Robin in a secret dress with Katy Perry.
No, of course. I mean, are you kidding me?
And
yeah.
She's a mother.
Jay and Jordan.
But they're both
And not long after that, she was in Washington, D.C., receiving American Mother of the Year award. So you look at a sequin dress and say, oh, my God?
No. But Olivia lost her baby because she went to bum a cigarette.
But that's not her fault.
Was I saying that was her fault? I said, what do you think of this?
What do you think of this? What do you think of all of this?
Well, number one, that picture was one of my anniversaries. My husband and I went.
The one you're divorced from now?
Yes.
Okay, just curious.
And I was married
for your boyfriend and his kids.
And I was married for 16 years.
Yeah. What started to pique my interest in you was Olivia would start to send me, Mom, look at, this is Jillian. I never even met you or talked to you. And look at this.
And you write that I'm trashy.
Show me where I wrote one thing about you.
It also says it looks like she's working, if you know what I mean.
No. Pull that back up. It's the comments of my friends who wrote that.
Are you just set on self-destruct here?
No, I'm not. What I'm set on is unfairness.
Why are you attacking this woman?
Because why did we lose our family? Because I guess she's a saint, descended from heaven on a cloud. By all means, you're the saint, we're the bad people. You should keep our blood. Is that what you're telling me?
I don't really know who you are, and
I'm the
why you're
auntie.
commenting.
Oh, you're not mommy.
Are you here to talk at me, or would you like me to respond to anything?
And later, are you concerned about the stalking?
Yes, absolutely. Olivia showed up at my daughter's school pretending to be a cousin, asking for school pictures.
She did not take your baby away from you.
But Dr. Phil, when you read the visitations, what about telling Evelyn you're not going to see your mommy, you're going to see the dog Zoe?
This is not an open adoption.
She wouldn't get out of the car, and that was how I got her out of the car.
You're going to see the dog Zoe, not your mother?
Under CPS law, they do not physically force a child.
Well, maybe if you had told Evelyn you're going to see your mommy.
She knew that.
No, you said the dog Zoe.
No,
I
don't really know who you are and
I'm
why
the
you're
auntie.
commenting. Okay,
Phoebe.
But what I said was, you're not going to go see your mommy right now because she wouldn't get out of the car. She wouldn't even come forward on the in the van.
Okay,
when
what they
no, I'm not done.
is you stay with mommy, meaning you, our mommy.
Well, at that time, she was almost 2 years old, and she called
you
me
were
mommy.
the foster mother. That's actually parental alienation. When you teach a 2-year-old that you're mommy, you're not mommy.
Are you here to talk at me, or would you like me to respond to anything?
Go ahead.
She was scared to death. The social worker came back to me and said, I cannot get her in the car. I'm going to call and explain this to social services that I'm not going to take her because I'm not physically going to force her in the car. She would not come back into the front seat because she was so scared that someone was going to put her in a car seat. So I finally had to convince her that she could go watch her favorite movie, Elmo, and play with her doggy, and that she didn't have to go anywhere, that she could go in the house. And it still took 15 minutes to coax her out. Later that evening, anybody who came to the door, she would start crying because she thought somebody was going to pick her up and take her away. In her mind, in her little mind, I was all she knew as a mother. And I'm not done. 1 hour a week, she went to go visit her biological mother. She's been raised knowing that she's adopted, and she's been raised knowing that she has a tummy mommy. And even at that time, she knew where she was going. We would say, you're going to see your tummy mommy.
Okay. That's not quite the way it reads. When you have a foster child, the adoption reunification service at that time were in place, supposedly. You, as the foster care mother, were you showing her pictures of Olivia, saying this is your real mommy, so she wouldn't be scared?
I didn't have pictures of her.
You couldn't get a picture of Olivia with her? And say, I'm your foster
I did not have any contact. The only time I saw Olivia was twice at court because I went to all of the court appointments.
Do you think it's important?
Unlike your daughter who ran away at different times.
You don't know what my daughter did unless you have court access. So you have access to the court files?
I have some, yes.
How did you get that access?
Some of it was...
You're telling me you've seen those court files?
There is some that are listed.
You have
why.
seen those?
I have termination of parental rights. I was at the court when she wasn't there.
You were in the court proceeding?
Yes.
Inside the court proceeding?
Yes, I was.
And you have copies of those files?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That's good to know. All I'm saying is this. As a foster mother, should you at any of time, because this time adoption was not the goal, should you have said, I'm your foster mommy, but here's mommy, because of course Olivia had her till she was 9 months old. She was with us. So she definitely knew us. She definitely knew mommy, because she was calling Olivia mommy until they ripped her away, stopped letting her have visits. Visits were canceled because you were taking Evelyn out of town.
Look,
do you
I'm
think that's
raising this child, and I'm allowed to go on a vacation.
No one's saying you're not. I'm not saying
if
that.
If that happens to interfere with her 1 hour a week, and I'm gone for a week, I'm sorry, I'm going to go on vacation.
That's not a problem. But the way it went down, Jillian, was first you went on vacation. Then she couldn't go to the visit because she was crying too much. Then she couldn't go to the visit again. Olivia went weeks without having a visit.
And this has nothing to do with me. CPS was not going to physically force her into the car.
But if you had said at that point, knowing the goal was to give Evelyn back to her mother, and as a foster care mother, wouldn't you say, maybe have a picture for the baby and say, here's mommy, and I'm foster mommy?
Why would I have a picture when she sees her every week? Why would I have a picture if she sees her every week?
She didn't, because you would stop the visits from happening with taking her on vacation.
I did not stop the visits. Child Protective Services, social services.
We're going to take a break. Up next, why Jillian does not want Olivia to have contact with Evelyn. We'll be right back.
been a lot of bad blood, and there's been a lot that's been said about me.
I would never, ever badmouth you because that would hurt Evelyn.
You're badmouthing me right now.
And later,
I'm stalking you? You're not that important to me.
you're sitting here pointing your finger in her face saying, you lie, you lie, you lie.
This February, beautiful twin sisters
These two needles are like my children.
hitting rock bottom.
You said we're out hooking for drugs, and we get more because we're twins.
I would do anything to have them back. But they can't.
Oh, my God. Do not make excuses for these girls to their sisters.
More emotion. More surprises. More drama. And we're just getting started.
I had a traumatized 3-year-old girl saying, my daddy hurt me. Where is he gonna hurt you at?
A child does not say those things unless she was coached.
You cannot coach a 3-year-old. Ask anyone.
That is coaching.
I came here to help my daughter, and you turned this into a giant circus.
I'm done.
My daughter has asked questions already about her biological mother. She has asked me, do you think she loves me? And my answer is, I'm sure she does. If she wants Olivia in her life, it's up to me as a parent to decide what is in the best interest of my child. So at this point, I will have to say no. There is a point where I would reconsider. I think there's going to need to be a lot of healing. She's not trashing me online or stalking me. If she can't do that, then there will be no option of them reconnecting until my daughter's 18 and has her own choice.
You say at this point, you think there's too much drama and dysfunction to introduce her biological mother into her life?
At this point, being face-to-face with Julia alone, I feel like the only thing that's going to be told to my daughter is that how horrible I am and how all the horrible things that I did.
Never.
It would, had I not seen this, which was private or was public at the time, I probably, because I actually felt very sorry for Olivia and probably would have come around eventually.
I mean, if the drama was gone, if the dysfunction was gone, if you had confidence that your character would not be assassinated and your relationship with your daughter be sabotaged, and Evelyn had an interest or a curiosity in doing that, you would be open to taking steps in that direction, first supervised and all, but I mean, you would be open to that?
I would be open to it when Evelyn is emotionally way more mature than she is right now, and I'm not talking 12. If she's interested right now at this point, I think there's been a lot of bad blood, and there's been a lot that's been said about me.
Is this about you or Evelyn?
It's okay, Phoebe.
Well, I don't know any mother in their right mind that would allow their child to be with someone who's trashing them.
I just want to say one thing for you, and this is mother to mother. I would never, if I saw Evelyn, I would never, ever badmouth you because that would hurt Evelyn.
You're badmouthing me right now.
Evelyn is not here. Evelyn is not here. And are you trying to tell me that you have never said an ill word about me or my daughter, Olivia?
No.
Okay.
I've never responded online. There's nothing online. And I've never spoken to Evelyn about either of you.
Well, I've never gone on your Facebook page, so I don't know what you've discussed with your friends. I thought I was having communication with my friends in private. But that being said, you did see it, and you took it. And since I know that now you're looking at it, I will be happy to remove those 2 posts off my page.
I think there's going to be time needed to heal at this point.
For who? You or Evelyn?
Well, let me answer that question.
Sorry.
You just said, is this about you or is it about Evelyn? If I were her, the answer would be, it begins with me, the mother. You're damn right. It's about me, the mother, because this is the only mother she knows. And if the mother is under attack, that is about Evelyn. So, yeah, it is about her.
So you think Evelyn doesn't remember me and Olivia? She was 2 years old. Do you think she has no memory of us?
At this point, Mom is her. My point to Phoebe 80% of all questions are statements in disguise. Okay. And when she says, is this about you or is it about Evelyn, what she's saying is, you're making this about you, bitch.
I get it.
And what I'm saying is, yeah, it should be about her because she's the mother charged with the emotional growth and nurturance of this child.
I get that. You cannot make that statement.
I don't feel that I need to defend myself. It doesn't matter what I say. It's always, you're lying, you're lying, you're lying.
I'm going to stop this right now. And later, you've got to provide some leadership here. I mean, you're calling her a fraud. You're
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're right. Are you concerned about the stalking?
Yes, absolutely. Olivia showed up at my daughter's school pretending to be a cousin, asking for school pictures.
Okay, first of all, were you there? She was not pretending. You cannot make that statement. You were not there. She was not pretending to be a cousin. We have someone who was with her who can say exactly what she said. So don't talk about us talking about you and then make a statement that my daughter lied when you were not there.
You're very upset.
You know why? Because you lied. That's my problem with you. It's all about don't talk bad about me, but you have no problem disparaging Olivia.
Well, that's what the school reported.
Well, you know, we have a witness. That's not what the school said.
That is what the school said.
That is what the school said.
Okay, the school said, and I know for a fact, Olivia said, I'm a relative. And would that not be true? And then you ran off to the court, restraining order against me, against my daughter. I'm stalking you? Really? I'm stalking you. You put in the restraining order that I've tried to contact you and your family. I don't even know who you are before all of this. You're not that important to me.
I'm sure you've seen the restraining order.
Bring the restraining order.
So...
Because I'll show you where you blatantly lied in it. Bring it.
It doesn't matter what I say. It's always you're lying, you're lying, you're lying. Bring the evidence, which, as you know, I have presented the evidence.
Really? It's not the restraining order.
And so I don't feel that I need to defend myself when I know you've seen it. You've seen the court documents.
I gave him the restraining order.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna stop this right now because you are so self-destructing here. This is not in your best interest, and you didn't have to come here at all. This is a closed adoption.
We didn't come to you about her. We came to you about how we were wrong.
Are you guys? What? You're sitting here pointing your finger in her face, saying, "You lie, you lie, you lie." And you say it's not about her. Are you kidding me?
Because she promised Olivia that she would keep Evelyn in her life, and her actions proved otherwise.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
Is there any final comment without interruption that you would like to make?
Had I felt that contact with Olivia from the very get-go and their family was a safe environment to do so, I would have.
Right.
I am in contact with the other side of the family. And I do send them pictures regularly because they don't harass me, they don't threaten me, and they don't stalk me, and they feel safe and comfortable.
And I don't either. I'm not interested in you. I'm really not.
And hopefully that can expand to this side of the family. And I will say it sounds very much to me like these guys got a very unfair handling by social services. I think there's no question about it. I think had this been handled differently, they would be in a very different place. I think Julia got mishandled. I think they got on a fast track. I think Phoebe got terribly mishandled in the situation. I think Olivia got mishandled in the situation.
And I don't know any of the facts regarding that.
I think it was a comedy of errors, and as a result, I think they're just raging against the machine, and they're blurring the lines between the machine and you. I wish you the best as a mother and in your life, and I appreciate you being here. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Do you know what the chance of flipping an adoption is 5 years in? It's like me growing hair. It ain't gonna happen. And later, there's one person in the world that can put that little hand in yours, and you want to keep sniping.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil, the Jodi Arias murder trial.
What is the untold story?
The prosecutor speaks out for the first time.
Except for that one mistake. She probably would have gotten away with it.
All new Dr. Phil. That's Monday.
I have not stalked or harassed Jillian. I just want to know the person that has my baby. Harassment is me calling the phone 14 times a day. Stalking is me tracking your every single move. An email here and there to see my daughter is not harassment. I have never tried to see my daughter. I know that that would be inappropriate. I went to the school to get a school picture, but I never tried to see her in her classroom or anything like that. Yes, I know where Jillian lives. No, I have never gone to her house.
Now, Jillian wasn't able to listen to everything that went on before she got out here, but under the rules of the restraining order, you were able to listen to what Jillian had to say. So, anything you want to comment on regarding Jillian's time out here?
I just want to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm hurt, and I miss my daughter so much. And I'm sorry for everything I've said. And you don't have to let her see me, but please let her see my family.
You think I'm taking Jillian's side in this, right?
Yes.
If I have a horse in the race at all, it's Evelyn. If you come to me and you say, how can I get the most of what I want? I look at it from a pragmatic standpoint. I'm not as emotional about this as y'all are. So I look at it and say, how do I get you people the most of what you want? And I know the way to do that is don't poke the bear. Okay? It's just that simple. You've got a mother that has this child right now with custody. Do you know what the chance of flipping an adoption is 5 years in?
Yeah, I know, very low.
I mean, it's like me growing hair. It ain't gonna happen. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. So how do I get you the most of what you want? So what could I get you if not flip the adoption? Then we could get you in the child's life where she could wrap her little arms around your neck, where you could be there for the big things in her life, where you could have all of those things. Wouldn't that be a giant step forward? So let's call Mom a piece of trash. Does that make sense? Hell no. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, that's why I said, Jillian, just leave, because you're on self-destruct. You are self-righteous. That's not going to get you the most of what you want. I'm trying to protect you from yourself.
You can't win with the adoptive mother. You've got to make her your friend.
I tried.
But you can't say I tried, and because she didn't respond, now I get to trash her.
Now, I'm adding attorney and child advocate Areva Martin. I've asked her to join us to give this family some legal guidelines to what they may be able to do, what the limits are, what the avenues might be in this.
Yeah. Let me tell you this about the law. Dr. Phil already talked about the statute of limitations, and the probability of you being able to sue the county slim to none. So I don't advise that you go out and spend a lot of money trying to do that, but it's your right if you choose to. But even if you're right, and even if some judge says the county screwed you, the issue about the best interest of the child, undoing an adoption like this is so difficult and almost unheard of.
I don't expect that.
Could it go to... Okay, so now let me tell you this. You can't win with the adoptive mother. You've got to make her your friend. You've got to get...
I tried.
But you can't say I tried, and because she didn't respond, now I get to trash her. And that's what Dr. Phil is saying. You've got to be patient with this. This may take...
I waited 5 years, That is patient.
I know. I'm just trying to help you.
Calm down.
You don't have the law on your side. The adoptive parent doesn't have a legal obligation to even let you see the child. You may have to wait until she's 18, as painful as that is.
You've got to provide some leadership here. I mean, you're calling her a fraud.
She is a fraud. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're right.
No, I'm sorry.
You're right. You're right. And you guys, you want to be right, and you can be right.
I'm sorry.
But you either want to be right or you want to be happy. The one person in the world. There's one person in the world that can put that little hand in yours, and you want to piss her off.
No, of course not.
No, and I'm sorry.
Then, and y'all keep sniping. I mean, maybe it's justified, but it doesn't get you what you want. And I'm happy to get you some help with this, kind of heal this wound and redirect this. Because there's a point at which you can be grateful for what has happened in Evelyn's life. But I really hope that there can be some leadership here towards...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
...some calmness and some gratitude for a woman that's feeding, clothing, loving, and nurturing this child.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back. When we come back, you are not going to believe the surprise I pulled off that almost brought Robin to her knees.
I can't believe it! I'm in shock! I'm in shock!
We can't do this show without you, our studio audience.
If you are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Because we have a lot of fun here, don't we?
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, it's Valentine's Day this weekend. And my wife, Robin, is always the one who surprises me. But today, I'm finally getting her. Okay? So, as my Valentine's Day gift to her, I talked her #1 favorite artist and band of all time. Come on. Come here, come here.
I can't believe it. I'm in shock. I'm in shock. I'm in shock.
Come here. Okay. Okay. As my Valentine's Day gift, I talked her #1 favorite artist and band of all time to make an impromptu appearance today just for her. So without further ado, after 10 years of asking, let me introduce the hottest band tearing up the charts from Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia, our son Jordan and his band 100-Handed, performing one of their new singles, Doctor.
Oh, my God.
They're performing one of his new songs, Doctor, and this is featuring Jordan's girlfriend, Marissa, who you probably know as the rising star, Kato. All right, give him some energy.
So put this on and wait for me. I'll check you out from head to feet, and I promise you'll feel alright. I'll fix you up before you leave, 'cause I wanna know how your heart beats, and I promise you'll feel alright. And we don't have to play. I'll be your doctor. You'll be my doctor. You'll be mine. And we don't have to check you out from head to feet, and I promise you'll feel alright. And we don't have to play. Don't have to play. I'll be your doctor. You'll be my doctor. You'll be mine. And we don't have to play. I'll be your doctor. You'll be my doctor. You'll be mine. Oh, 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 oh. I'll be your doctor. And we don't have to play. I'll be your doctor.
I'm shaking.
Did we get her? Did we get her?
Look at me shaking.
I think we got her.
Yeah, I think we got her.
Yeah.
So, we all know everybody, but introduce everybody in the band.
That's Matt Black. That's Drew on the drums. This is Steve playing the guitar. She needs no introduction.
And by the way, everybody in the audience is getting a copy of 100 Handed's debut album called Like It's Saturday. And Like It's Saturday is actually a line from 100 Handed's single, Love Me Like the Weekend, which is available for purchase on iTunes. And I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Areva Martin. Want you to have a great weekend and a happy Valentine's Day. But before we go, since it did take me 10 years to get him to perform on my stage, I have to have him play one more song. So here is 100 Handed again, this time performing their new single, She Was the One.
The brand new biggest deal. A fast start, long nights, and sex and heels. Her lips taste like violet crumble, and I won't forget. She was the one. Now she's the one that got away, got away. She was the one. She knows that she's the one. She knows that she's the one. So bittersweet when she walked away. Such a sight to see any other day. The door slammed like violent thunder, and I won't forget. No, she was the one. Oh, now she's the one. Got away, got away. She was the one. She knows that she's the one. She knows. So come back to me. So come back to me. So come back to me. She knows that she's the one. She knows. She knows. Let me see your hand. What was the one? She was the one. She got away. The one. Her lips taste like violet crumble, and I won't forget. She was the one.
all-new Dr. Phil. Is America in a men's session?
I'm supporting both of us and our daughter.
4 years you've been unemployed. Why couldn't you get a job?
We really cannot afford it.
You couldn't afford to get a job?
If he can't step up,
you believe you're cursed.
Yeah, I think I'm cursed.
His mother-in-law is speaking out.
TJ's a loser, a liar, a manipulator.
You're not helping by degrading him on a daily basis.
Let me stop you there. I don't do that.
She's crazy. She's crazy.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'm trying to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Fortune magazine published an article stating that 4 out of 10, or 40% of working moms, are the primary provider in their family. That means female breadwinners make up almost half of the household's major earners. So what does this trend mean for the future of relationships? Well, 2 of my guests today are working women who say they can't take it anymore. They claim while they're out working hard to provide for their loved ones, the men in their lives contribute next to nothing and are just downright lazy. Chelsea claims her husband TJ just hangs out on the couch, refusing to contribute financially to their family. In fact, in the 4 years they have been together, TJ has only had 3 jobs. The longest lasted a few weeks. And as for the other 2, well, one lasted 2 days, and he quit the other one the first day. Take a look.
I'm beyond frustrated with my husband. When TJ and I met 4 years ago, he wasn't working, and I was hoping that he would get a job soon.
I got laid off when the economy had tanked. Ever since, it's been impossible for me to get a job.
We've now been married 2 years, and TJ still doesn't have a job. Right now, I'm the only one working. I'm supporting both of us and our daughter. TJ says that he's always looking for work.
Every day I apply for 15 to 20 jobs. I submit resumes, but I never hear back.
I have checked the history on our computer, and I haven't seen that he's been looking for a job recently.
Chelsea needs to understand I'm doing everything I possibly can to find a job.
I've helped him fill out applications and even sent out his resume. TJ always has an excuse for why he doesn't have a job. He will tell me no one's hiring, he won't work for minimum wage.
We have had car problems. How am I supposed to get to an interview without having transportation? Personally, I may be cursed.
I feel very frustrated and angry. At this point, I'm not sure what to think. Do you have anything that's in the works right now?
Not at the moment.
TJ and I have a 22-month-old daughter.
I'm a stay-at-home dad. Daycare is way too expensive.
I understand that daycare is expensive, but we could afford it if TJ was working. I feel like maybe TJ just doesn't want to work. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
What Chelsea needs to know and understand is I really want to work.
To make matters even worse, I recently got laid off from my job.
Now we're both unemployed.
Okay, TJ, let me start with you, okay? You say you've applied for how many jobs?
About 15 to 20.
Well, I thought you said you'd applied for 1,000 jobs.
Not a day, 15 to 20.
No, I didn't say a day.
Sorry.
Total. That you...
It's been way up there. I mean, because I'm including the submitting resumes online through different websites and through papers and.
You said you've been to like 60 interviews?
Yes, I have been, and it's very, very competitive where I live.
Okay. But you said you were raised very structured.
Yes, I was.
So you have a very structured day with your daughter,
yes,
right?
I do. Yes.
You pop up, fix her breakfast. Mm-hmm. You say the morning is for education.
That is correct.
And then the afternoon is for play. You go to the park every day. You
right. We'll do a different activity. Like we'll go to the mall, walk around, get some exercise, or we'll go to the park. You know, every kid needs to go to the park. You know, there's days that we'll sit at home and watch TV programs. Mm-hmm. It just depends if it's a rainy day or what.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're trying to get a job.
I am.
You're really trying to get a job.
I really am.
But since you're not, you're an active stay-at-home dad, half a day on education, half a day on...
Right, and this is because we really can't afford anything. There's no opening for me to actually go to an interview. It's like, what am I supposed to do? Take her with me to the interview? Am I supposed to leave her at home by herself? You know, leave her in the car? That's illegal.
Right.
I mean, there's no way out of it.
Yeah, you don't want to leave her in the car.
And yes, it's the truth. Right. She has a bachelor's degree. I don't. It's
and
hard.
you say the reason that she's all on you about this every day and creating a lot of pressure and anxiety to you is because her mother is a crazy, evil devil woman.
Yeah, I mean, she's crazy. She's crazy.
And we asked you why you felt like you couldn't get a job, and you said, well, you gave us a list. Well, caring for your daughter full time. You say you can't take her and leave her in a car.
That is right.
You never hear back after your background check because you've got a felony conviction.
Yes, I do.
And it's for?
Burglary of a building. I broke into a baseball park when I first turned 18. It was 2 months after my 18th birthday. Got drunk with a few friends, went over there and broke into the basement. Don't ask me why, but we did it. I don't remember doing it. But it
Just got stupid.
And I learned my lesson, you know.
Your car didn't work for 3 months.
Yeah.
You can't afford gas to go to the interviews.
Yeah, that's right.
Others are more qualified. You refuse to work for minimum wage.
Maybe if I got minimum wage at 40 hours a week, it'd be a different story. But I can't find one. I've never even had a minimum wage job. I mean, I'm talking about fast food or retail. It's 25 hours. I mean, you're not going to get more than that. You can beg for it. I've done it. I've never got more than that.
No good jobs where you live.
No.
And you believe you're cursed.
Yeah, I think I'm cursed. On 4 years, yeah, I think I'm cursed.
By the evil devil woman or just?
Not by her, but just in general, because say...
Just in general.
Right.
You don't think that's what's going on at all.
Well, some of it's true.
But you say you call home at 10 o'clock or send him an email or something and he's still in bed.
Right.
Where's she?
I guess still sleeping.
At 10 o'clock. Okay, and she's 2?
Right, she's about to be
23 months, 22, 23 months? And she has a 2-word vocabulary?
She speaks more than 2 words. A while back, she was only speaking a few words, but now she's speaking more. She'll say apple. She's trying to say orange, mama, dad, bye.
Your doctor is shocked that she is developmentally delayed?
Right. She's,
that is correct.
Since we've seen the doctor, she's said a few words since then, but I don't feel like she's up to par where she should be at a 2-year-old level.
But when you come home, is like dinner ready, the house clean, laundry done, all of that?
No. And I feel like after I've been working all day long, I'm tired. And I don't want to come home to a house that's dirty. I don't want to come home and do laundry. And honestly, I shouldn't have to. If the tables were turned and I was the one at home, I would have given our daughter a bath. Dinner would be cooked and ready. Laundry would be done. Dishes would be done. The house would be vacuumed. And that's just all there is to it. The house would look spotless. And if I'm the one out working, and many people have told me this, the person that's staying at home should clean the house. That is their job. And I'm at the point where a marriage is a 2-way street. You may stay at home if that's what you're going to do, but clean the house. Don't make one person work extra hard.
And you've been together how long?
We've been together about 4 years.
And out of that 4 years, how much has he been unemployed?
99%. I mean, that's a fact, right? I'm not trying to make it look bad. It is
4 years, you've been unemployed most of 4 years.
Yes.
Why weren't you getting a job those 2 years that you didn't have a daughter? You said, I couldn't leave her in the car. I was having to stay home to take care of her. Daycare costs too much. Those are your lead reasons for not getting a job. For 2 of the 4 years, you didn't have her. So why couldn't you get a job those 2 years?
Well, it's not really an excuse, but we were having car problems at the time. We couldn't afford much. I mean,
that's why you get a job.
I know that. But the thing is, we really could not afford it. I mean,
You couldn't afford to get a job?
No, we couldn't afford the gas to actually go out for me to look for a job.
And you say you don't want a minimum wage job. Did you graduate high school?
No.
You are a minimum wage worker. That's where you start, and then you work your way up. You're not going to get a job as a brain surgeon.
Right, I know.
Chelsea's mother, Karen, the evil devil woman, has been listening backstage and says her son-in-law, TJ, not only lacks ambition, but he's also a taker and a liar who has a bizarre way of thinking. Well, we're going to talk to her when we come back.
I think TJ is a liar, taker, the manipulator. I think it's disgusting that a man would mooch off their own wife. TJ's a loser, and he needs to go hang out with the losers.
And later, he's throwing items at you. Is this your black eye?
So you're sitting there plucking at my head, and I get the damn shirt, and I swung it, and I caught her with the button, and I didn't swing it like
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Our son is handsome, charismatic, and a devil problem child.
I'm gonna break your bones, son. You stupid, fat, ignorant.
Do you think that hurts her?
I can't do this. I want to walk off.
He's been arrested more than 10 times. They bring him back.
Don't you allow him to come back?
If we didn't help him...
He would be dumpster diving.
Would you rather have him diving a dumpster or cutting your wife's throat?
That's tomorrow.
Chelsea says she's tired of being the breadwinner in her family and is frustrated because her husband TJ has a million excuses why he can't make money. She also claims her family hates her husband, especially her mother, Karen. Karen says, well, what's not to hate? Take a look.
When I first met TJ, I felt somewhat sorry for him. I quickly realized that TJ expects people to cater to him. I think TJ is a liar, taker, the manipulator.
My mom calls him trash and a freeloader.
I feel like Chelsea's mom, Karen, is crazy.
TJ doesn't work, he doesn't want to work, and he's not going to work. I think it's disgusting that a man would mooch off their own wife.
My mom is frustrated, and I feel like I'm stuck in the middle.
My daughter, Chelsea, and I do not have a relationship now because he lies to her, and she believes him.
I don't want to be a part of my mom's life because she won't accept my husband, TJ. I feel like my mom has even called Child Protective Services on TJ.
One day, a lady showed up at our house and said she was from Child Protective Services. She looked around her house and even examined our daughter. I believe Karen was behind all of this.
I wouldn't put it past my mother. She's that evil.
I have never called CPS, but I have told them that I would call CPS if I needed to.
Yes, come here.
My mom doesn't need to continue to bash TJ. She needs to be understanding.
TJ's a loser, and he needs to go hang out with the losers.
Okay, it sounds to me like you're trying to run the boy off. Is that right?
After 4.5 years, yes, of no
She
working.
tried to run me off the first 3 minutes of meeting her.
You didn't think he was a good candidate from day one, minute one?
No.
Do you see any redeeming qualities in him whatsoever?
No. Zero.
And what's your main objection to him?
TJ doesn't, when we first came into Chelsea's life, it's not just it wasn't the no working, it was after about a year of not working and telling people that you work, which is a total lie. If you don't work, then you tell people you don't work.
I'm sorry, I've never made that statement.
You do.
No, I'll say
And
I don't work.
actually-
Hey, America, I don't work right now. I don't have to hide it.
Actually,
I don't have to hide
okay,
it.
well, let me just get a little further with the work.
Come on.
You went to church, and someone from the church who was going to help you, they asked you a question, how long has it been since you have not worked? And you said, and this was 3 months ago, and you said it'd been 3 months.
Oh, really? So you was there, so you know exactly what I told this group of people.
Chelsea?
She was
I mean,
at work.
the end of the day, TJ probably is embarrassed, but, you know, the reason why...
At the end of the day?
Well, totally, you know, but the reason
I'm
why...
sorry, nobody can really say that statement because I was the only person
Okay,
there.
first of all,
inside
bottom
that
line
classroom.
is, when you don't
And all
provide,
this is a meeting
when you
group that
can't
everybody gets
provide,
together, looks through
when you
newspapers.
can't provide for a woman and you knew you couldn't provide
Where
for
are
the
you?
woman, you should have never married her
Where
in the
are
first
you?
place. Okay? You set
Because
a
y'all constantly
marriage on a
fight and-
foundation.
Okay.
Okay? You set it on a
Okay.
foundation, and if you're going to use God in it, then it's built on a godly
Really,
foundation.
me using God, I don't go around bashing, using scriptures against somebody.
Okay, that part of it, we're going to stick to the story of the no job.
That is part of the
And the
story.
lying and the manipulation. Okay?
Well,
If you
maybe
call-
or maybe not. I don't know. What
I
we're
mean, if
gonna
it's
stick to.
evil for me to continue to be frustrated at you because you don't work, because
You've
you
been
lie to
frustrated since
people.
the day I pulled up to paint your house.
And we are about to lose everything we have.
It's
I
not-
just lost my job.
I don't even know
and
how
that
you
is
can
why
say
we are here.
Who is we?
Because it's a marriage.
He hasn't brought anything to the table. You were raised in a home where everybody brings something to the table. He brings zero.
And
He doesn't have 2 cents
I-
to rub
No.
together.
I
So how can it be
understand
we?
Let
where
me tell
you're
you
coming
something.
from.
You complain about your daughter not being in your life and your granddaughter, but you won't step up and say, you know what, TJ, you need a job. Let me watch your granddaughter today. You won't even offer that.
I did.
Okay? No, you did not. You've never offered that a day in your life.
Yeah.
You don't give a damn. You'll take 3 months to talk to your daughter because y'all will fight about something so petty. And I'll tell your daughter to come to you and talk to you.
TJ,
But you know what?
first
I'm
of
done.
all,
I've
let
been
me
done
say
the last
something.
year and a half. I won't
First of all, let me say something to you.
ever help y'all again.
Okay. You don't
I'm done.
help me.
Dude, y'all didn't talk
You don't
before I
help.
met y'all. Well, how
Okay,
do you think that
first
birthday
of all,
dinner
TJ.
happened? Did I not come over to you and say, you need to speak to your mother? That's your mother. She
TJ,
loves you.
first of all...
Okay, all right,
First of all,
time out. Time out.
Married for that, unreal.
Time out. That's 5 minutes of my life I can never get back. And you're just all talking at one time and bickering back and forth, and you don't need me here for that. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I do. How can we change this situation? You know, I love TJ, and I want him to work at the end of the day. We are never going to have a life. We're never going to get ahead. We're never going to be able to have a home. Never going to be able to provide my daughter with a good life if TJ is not working. On the flip side, I want my mom to be in our life. I want her to be supportive and be a grandmother and be there for us. So how do we fix TJ's unemployment, and then how do we bring peace in the family? Those are my 2 main questions.
We're going to find out if she really wants out or if she really doesn't when we come back. There's a darker side of the story that no one here wants to talk about.
Absolutely not. That's why we can't have a relationship, because you lie, and if you say one thing, then you totally twist it.
And later, you need to quit lying to yourself. He is being lazy in the way he is nurturing. You need to stop that. You need to take care of your daughter.
The fact that TJ isn't working creates a lot of stress in our relationship.
Chelsea can push my buttons.
TJ gets angry and he starts cursing at times. I feel like TJ says these things because he's under so much stress and he has no other way of coping.
TJ is physically abusive. Chelsea has told one of our relatives that he has pushed her against the wall, put his hands around her neck. Once I saw Chelsea with a black eye and I asked her what happened. Chelsea told me that he wanted to sleep late and he hit her in the eye.
I've never laid my hands on Chelsea. I would never hit a woman.
One time he got so upset with her, he told her he would take your heart out and liver and cut it up and boil it and eat it. I think TJ is very dangerous. He is a ticking time bomb.
Karen says she raised her college-educated daughter, Chelsea, to be ambitious and self-sufficient. So she is angry that she married TJ, who Karen describes as a lazy moocher. But there is a darker side of the story that no one here wants to talk about. Has this gotten to the point where there has been physical abuse?
No, absolutely not. There was the shirt incident, but that was it. The shirt incident where he accidentally popped my eye, and everyone in the family knew about that. But as far as physical violence, there's never been any physical violence. And, you know, that's why we can't have a relationship, because you lie, and if you say one thing, then you totally twist it. You know, we are here. I wrote into the show for my marriage, and because TJ is unemployed. And like I said, we're about to lose everything we have, so that is the root of the problem.
Okay, well, here's the email that you wrote in to us. I pulled some excerpts out of this. He also has anger problems and has popped me in the face before and thrown things at me, causing bruises. You wrote that.
The only thing that he has ever done was the shirt incident, where he went like this and he popped me in the face.
He cusses and yells around our daughter when I have begged him to stop.
I think that TJ, and he'll admit to that. And
yes,
I think that his
I'll admit to anything I'm wrong. I will not lie.
And, that was wrong.
I have.
Okay, but he has anger problems and has popped me in the face. Now, those are your words in your email.
Right.
Okay, you didn't say has accidentally popped me in the face. You said he has anger problems and has popped me in the face, and you went on to say he has thrown things at me, causing bruises. So, to me, I read that as a domestic violence scenario.
He shouldn't have done that, and we've discussed that. And
Okay,
you know,
and you
it
said,
was
how can
wrong.
I help you? You said, how can I help you? Well,
Right.
I can give you some advice here. I'm not trying to throw your husband under the bus here, but you have a tendency to start defending him anytime somebody says something critical about him. But you have to understand, if you want to solve problems, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And if you trivialize or minimize things that are going on, then it's real hard to put them on a priority list. You've had items thrown at you. You don't want to trivialize that. That's not okay. And you don't want to be doing that.
Well, it goes back to TJ's anger, and I do believe that has been, you know, the unemployment has caused him. He is stressed. He is angry. You know, he's at his breaking point, I feel like, right? Don't you feel like you don't know, I don't know what to do. You don't know what to do, and that's why I wrote in, something has to change.
Listen, we can talk about why. Right now we're talking about what. The what we're talking about is that he's throwing items at you. And you wound up with a black eye. Karen alleges that TJ gave Chelsea a black eye, and she gave our producers a photo that she claims is proof. Is this your black eye?
Mm-hmm.
This was just accidental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he, you know.
Tell them the truth. Tell them about you not pulling my hair and how I was uncomfortable being at your aunt's house with your parents being there on a random secret surprise. So you're sitting there plucking at my head, and I get the damn shirt and I swung it and I caught her with the button. I didn't swing it lightly. I mean, I was irritated. I'm sleeping. I don't want to be messed with because every time I get around them, it's drama. I mean, it drives me crazy. Every
So it
time,
wasn't
no matter
an
what.
accident. It
was like I was in the middle of, it was like I'm sleeping and I'm being messed with and I'm saying stop, stop, stop. And I grabbed the shirt that's right next to me because I had no shirt on when I was laying down in bed and I just swung it. And it just caught her.
Well,
And she said,
I told him, you have to control yourself. What if you had accidentally hit our daughter?
I was in tears because I
and
don't want to lose her because I did something stupid. I mean, that was ignorant. I mean, I still look at myself low for doing that.
Why are you throwing things at her?
Well, that's the shirt. I mean, I'm not going off and saying, hey, I'm going to hit you with this, this dish today. And especially, why would I want to hit her at her family's house? Everybody's there. I just feel like hitting you at your family's today. I mean, it makes no sense.
But yet, you did it.
I know, it was stupid. I was, like, still asleep.
Why are you not working?
I'm depressed.
Stay with me.
It feels like there's no way out.
And later,
Middle-class men do the least amount of housework, but they believe they do the most. So they're delusional.
why are you not getting a job?
First, it was because I couldn't find nothing that I wanted to get paid, and that was ignorant, that was stupid. I wanted a job. There's nothing that would make me feel better to support her and my daughter. But now there's no help. My mother's not capable of helping us. She just nags. That destroys me. I'm depressed. I've been wanting a job so bad, it landed me in the emergency room. I'm a big dude, so I never had anxiety. I had a call from work because I felt like I was having a heart attack. I get to the emergency room, they put the EKG on me and said my heart rhythms have, they called it heart participations, I think it was.
Palpitations?
Heart palpitations, and I was having anxiety and panic attack. And they told me to go see a heart doctor with a cardiologist.
Okay.
And it's just, we couldn't afford them. I mean, it's so much.
Just look at me here.
Yes.
Stay with me here. Why are you not looking for a job? Why
I
are you
am
not
looking
getting
now.
a job?
I am looking. I'll take anything. It's been like this.
I'm not talking about right now, this minute. I'm talking about why are you not working? Why are you not out there getting a job?
There's no one to help me right now. I mean, I have my kid. I can't just take her with me. I know it's no excuse, but I really have no family helping me. Like, literally zero. She has a grandmother. That's it. Her mother's 3 hours away. Her aunt's 6. Everybody's gone. My family's gone. I mean, I have a small family because everybody's passed. I mean, it's just, it feels like there's no way out. Nothing.
That's why I wrote into the show, and then I happened to lose my
ended.
job in the middle of talking with the producers, and
I
my
wouldn't
hands
just,
are up.
I wouldn't just say, hey, I don't want a job today. Screw it, go to work, lady. It's not like that. I mean, at first it was because I was hard-headed. I wanted a job. I made, okay, $25 an hour isn't a lot to a lot of people. But in my area, it was good because I had overtime. So whenever you lose that job and you're only getting jobs for $8, $9 an hour, you're like, what the hell? That's like cutting your 66% of your check. And at that time, it was just me and her. She was covering her own. And, you know, I'm over here, I'm wanting to work. It was stupid of me.
Look,
it was really
TJ,
ignorant.
but do you understand
Yes, I do.
logic
Yes,
of what
I
you're
do.
saying? You're saying
Yes,
it's like
I
a
know.
66% cut. It's like a $9 raise.
I know. From nothing, I know. And it was selfish of me. I know it was.
And do you understand, at this point...
But everybody makes mess-ups. I mean, everybody
But
is
you
not
realize that right now...
It's haunting me, yes.
It's like inertia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, inertia is a tendency of bodies at rest to stay at rest. And so you're at home, and you're not even doing everything you can do at home. There's home-based businesses you can do. You're not cleaning the house. You're not cooking the meals. You're not doing the laundry. And you can tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself, but if you've got a little girl that's coming up on 2 years old that's saying one word at a time and has a vocabulary of 5 or 6, then she is not getting the stimulation that she needs to be getting. She should be asking 2-word questions right now. She should be saying 2-word sentences. She should be adding words every month. If you're taking her out and you're taking her on walks where you're reinforcing by saying dog, tree, bush, and then she says dog, and you say yes, dog, good job. You build their vocabulary across time. That's not happening. You're allowing a developmental delay to creep in here, and it's going to be difficult if you let that set in. You need to close that gap right now. It should concern you.
I want her in daycare. I want her around other kids. She is behind.
And that tells you that she is in a cognitively impoverished environment throughout the day. And then you are home, you say, well, I'm tired when I'm home. This little girl is in a cognitively impoverished environment. She needs stimulation, and it's not TV.
I know.
Because it has to be interactive. And she has to be teased out on this stuff. It takes effort, it takes energy, and it obviously is not happening. Based on results, it is not happening. You may wish she had married him, but she did. You're not helping by belittling and degrading him on a daily basis.
Okay, let me stop you there. I do not do that. I don't do that.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Our son is handsome and a devil.
He's been arrested more than 10 times.
He says he's going to put a bullet in your brain and burn your house to the ground.
I can't do this. I want to walk off.
That's tomorrow.
My daughter is being brainwashed by TJ. Before she met TJ, she was independent. She had everything. Now, since being with TJ, she cannot make any decisions. She has to have TJ's approval for everything.
Karen thinks I brainwashed Chelsea. Karen also believes I'm in some type of cult. I think that's just plain crazy.
She thinks that TJ is manipulating me and taking advantage of the situation.
I feel like he could be involved in some kind of cult.
Okay, you said, you had a question, how can this situation get back online?
Right.
Let me start with you, get that out of the way since you're not part of this relationship. You may wish she hadn't married him, but she did. And whether he stays married or they don't stay married, he's still the father of your granddaughter. And you're not helping by belittling and degrading him on a daily basis.
Okay, let me stop you there. I do not do that. I don't do that.
Okay.
I don't do that.
All right, well, then let me put it this way. You're not helping by belittling and degrading him occasionally, quarterly, semi-annually, whatever the frequency of it is, to your daughter. She knows your opinion. I think if you just ratchet it down a little bit and let me try to do some things that things might help. You need to quit lying to yourself. You have an undivided loyalty to your 2-year-old daughter, and you're allowing her to be neglected by him. He is being lazy in the way he is nurturing her cognitively and intellectually, and you're allowing that to happen. You need to stop that. You need to take care of your daughter. And if that means that you can't leave her with him, if that means you need to take her and go somewhere, whatever you need to do, your daughter comes first. She needs a protector here, and that protector is you. And by protect, I mean just from neglect. I don't think he would hurt your daughter.
Right.
I don't believe he's in a cult. I don't believe he's... You're lazy. And I'll tell you why you're lazy. You made some bad decisions early on, and you got in a comfort zone. You got in a habit. You need to be willing to do anything for anybody, anywhere that's not illegal. Okay? And you need help with your depression, and you need a life coach to get you on your feet and get you moving to work this out. And I am going to provide you help in both of those areas. We are going to get you back on your feet. We are going to get you employed. We are going to get you standing tall with a paycheck in your pocket where you can help your family. Okay? And I know the people that can do that. We're going to take about 100 pounds off of you while we're doing it. We're going to get you in shape physically, mentally, emotionally. We're going to get you employed. We're going to get this depression, which is a reactive depression, not an endogenous depression. And then you're going to be able to stand tall and conduct yourself where you look in the mirror and say, you're doing a good job. How would that feel? To marry or not to marry someone with huge debt. We're going to talk about that next. We'll be right back. Okay?
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click Be in the Audience, or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
Dear Dr. Phil, I've been dating my boyfriend Justin for 2 years, but there are a few things that concern me. Justin has accumulated nearly $300,000 of debt with college loans. He graduated and has been trained to be an air traffic controller, but sadly, the Federal Aviation Administration is not hiring at this time, so he is stuck working as a server at a restaurant. We would like to get married, but another one of my concerns is my boyfriend Justin isn't proactive about getting a better paying job, and he is constantly spending what money he does make on upgrading his car and sports equipment. Justin says he wants to pay off his loans, but he says he doesn't know where to start. I feel he has just become lazy and unmotivated, and I fear if we get married, I may get stuck paying off his loans. What advice do you have to help us through this? Sincerely, Emily.
So, Emily, what is it you want him to do that he's not doing?
Anything. Become proactive in the situation, get a better paying job, because right now serving is just not doing it.
Okay, and Justin, you know what she wants you to do, so why are you not doing it?
I'm just trying right now to make ends meet, do anything that can pay the bills and help her and me just getting through our daily lives. I wanted to fulfill my dream, and I was kind of waiting for that, and that might not be the smartest option right now.
Yeah. She says that you could work 45 minutes closer doing the same thing for more money, even if you don't get a job as an air traffic controller, that you could, as a server, that you could work closer, more money, so it would save on everything and give you better ability to pay off your debt, et cetera, et cetera. So why are you guys not working through that?
The reason why I haven't worked closer was because I just started this job about 5 months ago. They were the only place that kind of gave me the opportunity to start working. I felt it was too soon to kind of throw them under the bus and just go somewhere else.
Yeah. Relationships are about common goals, common values, and being able to get together and see whether or not you have compatibility on those things or whether you don't. So what you need to do is go through some very structured premarital counseling to see whether or not you are way off on what you want and what you're willing to do to get there. But you guys are not even almost ready to even think about getting married. Not even, almost, sort of, kind of, maybe. And I can tell you, this is just a guy thing, and I hate to put words in Justin's mouth, and he can deny this when we hang up here. But my sense is he ain't really ready to get married right now. Because I think he's kind of okay with the way things are going at this point. So I'm guessing this is higher up on your priority list than it is on his. Justin, do you want to acknowledge that, or you just want to recuse yourself and talk about it with her later?
I would agree with you a little bit there.
Don't believe I'd have said that. No, I'm just kidding. No, really, no, I do appreciate your honesty and candor. And you need to know that, Emily. You guys talk about that. You need to go through some premarital counseling. And if you survive today, then I'm happy to set you up with some very structured premarital counseling that will talk about all the topics you need to go through before you make a decision to put marriage on your radar. Fair enough?
Yes.
All right, coming up, a woman who says we're in the middle of a man session and female breadwinners dating underachievers is a new social epidemic. We'll talk to her next. We'll be right back. Want to get something off your chest? Sign up for the drphil.com community and weigh in on your favorite episodes and share your personal stories with other community members. Plus, get started on your own blog to share your thoughts on the topics that interest you most. I'll be reading those message boards. Log on to drphil.com today. Well, my next guest is a renowned comedy writer and an adjunct professor at the University of Southern California. She is also the author of the self-help guide, Get Your Butt Off My Couch and Your Hand Out of My Wallet. And claims there is a really serious man session happening at epidemic proportions. Please welcome Sonia Warfield. Sonia, how are you? Oh, my God. You explain what you mean by man session.
Well, Dr. Phil, I mean, there's a real epidemic going on. Women are becoming breadwinners, and the men they're not stepping up, and they're not stepping up at home either. There was actually a new study out that found that middle-class men do the least amount of housework, but they believe they do the most. So they're delusional. And it's just a crushing responsibility on women to bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, take care of the kids, take care of the house, and it's just too much. And I think men are becoming too comfortable. I think Kanye West needs to revise the lyrics of his song Gold Digger to now include men, okay? Yeah. Because there's a new kind of gold digger in town.
Yeah. Also, so give me, like, your top 3 pieces of advice to women that find themselves in that situation.
Well, I really think that part of the problem is that we cover things up. We're not telling people that, no, our husband isn't working.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Throw the brakes on there a minute.
Okay.
So you're saying your advice to women is, like, if they're at the church social or a dinner party or whatever, and they say, what does your husband do? he's not, they should say what?
Well, they should say, you know what, he's not employed right now. He's looking for work. Do you know of anybody or anything that could possibly help him? Instead of keeping it a secret.
But what if he's not looking for work?
Well, if you want him to be looking for work and he's not looking for work actively, and he should be, then that's the time to out him. I mean, it's not to shame him and to embarrass him, but it is to talk about the issue and not cover it up.
Yeah. So you should also go on a sex strike.
Well, yes. Here's the thing, Dr. Phil. If enough is enough with this man, and you're tired of him, and you're tired of what he's doing and not doing, why do you even want to have sex with him in the first place?
Sonia also lists some warning signs of an underachieving man. You said, one, he has to move in too soon.
Yeah, that basically means he's homeless, okay?
Yeah.
If he's trying to move in with you right away, and you might think it's cute, and you might think, oh, he loves me, he might not have anywhere else to go, ladies.
Yeah. He's a dreamer. He's all talk and no action.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. A dreamer who doesn't do anything, his dream you'll end up paying for, and that will become your nightmare.
Yeah. Okay, women tell me, is it uncool if a guy pulls out a coupon?
If it's right away, if you've been dating them for a while, then yeah, I understand. But if it's like on the first date and he pulls out a coupon, come on.
You tried to use a coupon on our honeymoon.
No, I didn't.
Remember?
No, I didn't.
Remember?
We were gooning you I
haven't forgotten it.
You go to a cheap casino, they give you a free beef stew dinner.
It was for a picture.
And we were telling her we were going to take her there to get her a free beef stew dinner. She thought we were serious.
No, not that one. I knew that was a joke.
He's happy for you to buy your own engagement. Turn her mic off. He's happy for you to buy your own engagement ring. Bad sign, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you have to buy your own engagement ring, then you're proposing to yourself and marrying yourself. Honestly, like, if he can't afford your engagement ring, or if he's fine with that, then there's a problem, ladies.
Yeah. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today, and a special thanks to Sonia Warfield. Her book, Get Your Butt Off My Couch and Your Hand Out of My Wallet, is now available on Amazon. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much, Sonia. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
An all-new Dr. Phil.
Our son is handsome, charismatic, and a devil problem child.
I'm gonna break your bones. You stupid, fat, ignorant.
Do you think that hurts her?
I can't do this. I want to walk off.
He's been arrested more than 10 times. They bring him back.
Don't you allow him to come back?
If we didn't help him,
It would be dumpster diving.
Would you rather have him diving a dumpster or cutting your wife's throat? Let's do it.
show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. If you are a parent, I'm sure you have experienced that dreaded teen phase. Raging hormones, explosive anger, back talk, and defiance. If you haven't, you probably will. Well, my guests today, Julie and Paul, say their son Brandon, he just never grew out of those difficult years. In fact, they say things have only gotten worse. And now they call him their, quote, handsome, charismatic devil problem child. Listen to this.
Mom, I gotta go home. I have to get things. I have to see people, Mom. Mom, don't you have any idea what you're with right now?
Well, Brandon's mother, Julie, says that's just nothing new. In fact, Brandon has been out of control since he was 10. Now she says things are so bad it may only be a matter of time before he ends up behind bars for good, or maybe even worse.
Our son is handsome, charismatic, and also a devil problem child.
Oh, I'm gonna break your bones, Mom. I'm gonna break your bones. And Dad, and everybody else starts to get my way.
Brandon is paranoid and delusional.
If he doesn't get what he wants, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Brandon punches walls, damages doors, throws objects, breaks things.
We have to take our wallet and put it between our legs while we're asleep, because he'll hunt the house like he's hunting a forest for a deer. Brandon's the kind of kid, if you didn't see him do it, he didn't do it. About a year ago, he took our car, ran it into a tree, came home, inebriated, walked into the house and said, something's wrong with the car. Pretty much he just said, Another time, Julie was driving, Brandon in the back seat, and he just covered her eyes like this at 55 miles an hour with my 2 other children in the vehicle. Over the last 4 years, we've called the police at least 9 times. He's been arrested for punching her, choking her, hitting her, pushing her down.
We live in hell and misery.
Stupid, fat, ignorant bitch. You're gonna suffer.
Brandon sends me threatening text messages when he doesn't get his way.
The texting will be relentless. I delete the threads. It's consumed so much data. Dad, Mom, you better give me what I want. You're gonna pay. I'm gonna tear your up. He'll cut her scrubs. He'll destroy her bra. He'll rip blinds off the window. It's insane. I'm at the end of my rope. I will not stand for this man's behavior anymore. Something's gotta give.
You are intelligent people. Why have you been putting up with this so long? That's the question.
Well, Brandon has, a lot of diagnoses and we have a lot of evidence that he has mental and neurological problems.
Now answer my question.
And that's why we put up with it. We suffer the misery because we can't live with ourselves. If he killed himself...
Okay, I get it then. So you say you're in the dilemma. It's like we either are the backstop, the net, or we think he would actually die or in some way really go bad. So that's the dilemma. Because I'm a parent too. Yeah.
We have 4 children.
Right. You have a duty to your entire family. You have said he has a mental illness. Mm-hmm. He may have a mental illness. I'm not going to prejudge that. Haven't met him yet. I've seen a lot of diagnostic labels thrown at him. Mm-hmm. Not sure that I agree with 3/4 of them. But assuming you're correct, mm-hmm. Why the hell are you people enabling this kid? Why are you doing that? Under what theory is any mental illness make it okay for him to tell you he's going to put a bullet in your brain, break your bones, and burn your house to the ground? Under what theory is that okay where you just say, come on over tonight? Apparently it is because you allow it to happen.
Well, we call the police all the time. He's been arrested more than 10 times.
And he's back the next day.
They bring him back.
No, they don't bring him back. You allow him to come back. You either allow, elicit, or maintain.
Well, you're right. I will let him come back because...
You allow, elicit, or maintain the behavior that you're getting. Now, I told you, you don't necessarily have to like what I'm telling you, but you need to hear it. That's not the question right now. The question is, do you acknowledge that you allow, elicit, or maintain him to abuse you and come back and do it again?
Yes.
There's a fundamental thing that I believe about human nature. You do not reward bad behavior.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's why we're here, because we want to know what the alternative is.
Are you rewarding bad behavior?
I'm not sure. What we think we're doing is keeping him alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we're doing. If it weren't for us, if we didn't take him back when he got out of jail, if we didn't help him to pay for things, he would be one of the homeless people we saw yesterday.
Absolutely.
Digging through the dumpsters. And as long as we're alive, we're not going to let that happen.
He would be dumpster diving. He is absolutely a target for victimization.
Would you rather have him diving a dumpster or cutting your wife's throat?
Well, I mean, come on. I mean...
No, listen. No. You can't give that the back of your hand as though that I'm setting up a paper tiger for you to tear down.
That's not a loaded question. I would not have, you asked me a question, would I rather have this or that? Of course I wouldn't want my wife to have him cut my wife's throat.
But you're saying that him being on the street is like the worst of all possibilities. It is not the worst of all possibilities. This individual is a clear and present danger to you and your other children.
He is.
Come on.
He is.
Listen, love him. Love him to the
him.
electric chair if you have to. But this is a clear and present danger to you and your other children.
It is.
Let's be honest about this.
I mean, you're absolutely 100% correct.
You know that's true, right?
We're at the end of our rope. That's why we're here. That
means it's time to start making some hard choices. And there does come a time when you have to realize that you're in over your head.
We know that.
That you're dealing with something. You've said mental illness. There could be brain involvement here.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that. There could be. But, you know, when you come home and he's written on your couch or your wall, die.
Yeah.
Listen, these are signs. I make a study of human behavior and those behaviors that are antecedent to violence. When he's getting to the point of destroying your home and writing things on the walls and the couch, that's significant. But you know what's also significant? He doesn't write it on his own couch. If you have an organic brain disorder, it goes with you everywhere. But if you can flip it on and flip it off, then it tells you there's still some vestige of control in there, which gives me the glimmer of hope, and I am the incurable optimist here. Well, Brandon's here. He says he would not be so angry if his parents hadn't robbed him of his childhood. Or did they do the only thing they could do to give him the best chance he had at closing some developmental gaps and getting himself some traction? We'll talk about all that, and we're going to meet Brandon right after the break.
Whenever there's an argument, I get angry, I get loud, I curse, scream, throw things, and just snap.
And later,
he's hit the siblings, he's punched her, pushed her. Julie's crying, the kids are traumatized. I snap.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. A former guest once addicted to drugs returns.
Now you say you're addicted to an explosive husband.
An ex-soldier's rage.
Your younger daughter says there's a monster living inside you. Your oldest daughter has lost all of her body hair.
Yes, we've been told it's a stress condition.
Where will it end?
Jared has brought out a knife. He puts my hand on it.
And wants you to plunge it into his heart.
That's tomorrow.
When Brandon is in a rage at our house, he punches holes in the walls and kicks and breaks doors. This is a bathroom door, and as you can see, the door is like completely been broken. All of our doors are duct taped because they're damaged. We have multiple holes in our walls that are covered with pictures. He punched a hole here in the wall. This is the bathroom drawer that he broke when he pulled it off.
We don't bother spending the money on replacing the doors because he's just going to destroy them again.
Paul and Julie say their son Brandon is so out of control that they got him his own apartment because they fear he could hurt them in the night. Brandon admits he has problems with his temper, but he says his parents make it worse by provoking him, being verbally abusive and unsupportive.
I have anger and resentment towards my parents. When I was younger, as a freshman in high school, I was sent away to an outdoor therapeutic program from age 15 to 18. I had a lot of resentment and anger towards them because I missed the best years of my life. If I wouldn't have gone and would have stayed in high school and graduated, I would have had more opportunities. They could have handled the situation a little bit better than they did. I'm pissed off all the time. My main problem with my parents is being able to talk to them without getting into a huge blow-up. My dad antagonizes me. He knows how to get under my skin. He can really provoke me. Whenever there's an argument, I get angry, I get loud, curse, scream, throw things, and just snap. I've punched holes in the walls, I've destroyed things. We can't ever come to a conclusion or meet halfway. I'm done. It's either I'm right or I'm wrong, and the majority of the time I'm wrong. But I don't like to hear that.
Brandon, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm okay. Things are not working well in your relationship with your parents. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Why do you think it's not working?
Well, throughout my life, I've always had struggles and going to treatments and this and that. And I guess I had a lot of resentment and anger and just really a cluster.
What is it you resent about them the most?
The outdoor therapeutic program I went to from the age of 15 to 18.
That was 3 years in the woods.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. And what precipitated you, in your mind, what precipitated you being put in that program?
Crisis situations, outbursts, getting in trouble, just really not getting along with my parents and struggling day by day.
Right. And were you out of control?
I was, all the time, every day.
What would have been the alternative? What would you have done?
Probably the same thing they did to me, honestly.
Are you out of control still?
Yes and no. Try and keep to myself, when I'm at my parents' house. Sometimes I'm at my apartment. I don't really get out much. I will say, honestly, I don't have friends, and I'm okay to say that. I guess right now I'm just trying to get my life together, day by day.
How many days have you worked in the last 30 days?
A handful.
Just a few days? 4 or 5?
A few days.
And on those days was with your dad?
Yes, sir.
And how many of those days did you work throughout the full day?
One or two.
And the other days, did you get frustrated partway through the day and have to leave and go out into the car or the truck or whatever? And
yeah, I did. We butt heads.
What are you most proud of in your life?
Being alive. Being alive, just being here, really. Nothing special. I don't have anything going for me right now. And it sucks.
What are you most ashamed of?
The way I treat my parents.
Give me an example.
And the way I talk to them. Disrespect.
Give me an example.
Cursing. Yelling.
Give me an example.
Punching holes in the wall. Ruining the doors. It's, like I said, mountains out of molehills, and I just snap.
Take me through the moment that you were having that exchange with your mother.
I can't do this. I want to walk off, man. I can't do this.
And later,
I snatched him up by the scruff of his neck.
Oh, don't hit me, don't beat me, don't hit me, don't hurt me.
He was playing it. I was arrested right there on the spot.
You think I'm still unstable, Mom? Think I'm still unstable? Think I'm still unstable? Think I'm still unstable? Take me home, Mom.
No.
Okay.
I'm waiting here for the police.
For what? What are you going to tell them?
Are you threatening to hurt me?
I'm not threatening to hurt you.
Yeah, you just told me that you were.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Why are you doing this to me now, Mom?
Madam, I told you can either go to your dad's work.
Oh, no. Why would I do that?
Or you can go to jail.
Why would I do that?
And you chose.
Why would I do that?
I want you to listen to this audio of you talking to your mother, and you were angry and out of control. and she had to pull over to a gas station, which made you even more upset. Take a listen to this.
You fat mother. You are a and I don't like you, okay? Just hope you know that. Just so you know. Make me feel really small, you piece of You don't even realize how much anger and hate I have. And then you said, why? Because you're delusional. No, because you're a bunch of That's why.
I'm not doing this.
I'm sorry?
I can't do this. I want to walk off, man. I can't do this.
Well, but you are doing it, and no, that's all right. That's okay. Okay.
It's just putting my,
But you are doing it, and you're actually doing a good job of it. What I want you to do, in fact, you can add this to your list of things that you stayed hooked up to and accomplished. Take me through the moment that you were having that exchange with your mother. What was going through your head? What were you feeling at that point?
Very angry. I don't even know what caused it. I don't remember. Man.
And after that was over, how did you feel?
I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that.
Did you fully remember it?
Yeah, I remembered it.
And were you sorry about it?
Absolutely.
Tell me how you think she felt in that moment.
She probably felt, I can't believe this is my son. I mean, if I was her, I would think the same thing.
When you tell her that she's like a fat piece of worthless and all, do you think that hurts her?
Yeah, I do. I think it would hurt any mother.
Why do you suppose you lose control and that gets so animated? Why do you suppose you're able to have such an intelligent, articulate conversation with me right now?
Now, why?
How do you think you're able to do that? I mean, you should be proud of that.
I don't want to let my parents down, and I want to get the help that I need.
So you also have motivation?
Sometimes. Can, yeah.
Up next, find out why Paul says he has to sleep with a spark plug and his wallet between his legs at night. We'll be right back.
We pay for Brandon's apartment, groceries, utilities, clothing.
Brandon constantly preys on our resources because he knows we love him and we are not going to throw him to the wolves.
I don't agree with how my husband Paul talks to Brandon. Paul will verbally engage with Brandon.
Brandon's not normal. I say to him, Brandon, what's wrong with you? You're a moron. How many times do we have to go over this? Don't you learn anything? Absolutely, 100%, I verbally abuse him.
He makes the situation worse. It's like throwing fuel on the fire.
Well, Julie and Paul say their son Brandon has not been able to keep a steady job, that he is dependent on them and wouldn't be able to survive without them. Brandon says he wishes his parents would give him a chance to be an adult and really stop babying him so much.
My son Brandon cannot take care of himself. Without us, he wouldn't survive. We pay for Brandon's apartment, groceries, utilities, clothing, drive him around.
Brandon has his own apartment. Brandon has no way of getting money, of providing for himself. He calls us. He's crying. He's depressed.
He was saying he didn't have any food. He didn't have any cigarettes. He was depressed. He didn't have any money. And I take my hard-earned money and I send him $40.
Brandon constantly preys on our resources because he knows we love him and we are not going to throw him to the wolves. A lot of times I would say, you know, hey, Julie, maybe we need to let him dumpster dive. Maybe we need to let the electric be turned off.
I can't abandon my child and leave him to be homeless or dead. I want Brandon to be independent, but I don't know if Brandon is capable of being independent without our help.
Okay, you said that you if you're going to be honest, that you have to step back and say you absolutely are verbally abusive.
Yes.
In the way you talk to him, deal with him, the things that you say to him. Why?
Well, I'll give you an example. I'm at work. My wife will be driving down the road 55 miles an hour with my 2 children in the back seat. Brandon will take his hands. She's going crazy.
Put it over her eyes?
Yeah, while she's doing 55 miles driving down the road, correct?
I did that.
Jewel?
When did I ever do that?
When you were having a rage attack one time. It was very brief, but you did it.
Cursing, screaming, yelling, flipping out. I snap. I just snap. I mean, he hit her. He's hit the siblings. He's punched her, pushed her, bruised her, punched his sister. I mean, it just gets old. It's not every single time.
And so you yell and scream.
Yeah, I get unglued.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm a very transparent person. You ask me a question, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I get, you know, I mean, it's not every time, but I want to be fair to him.
So you say he gives a stimulus and you give a response?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, but I hate to say it, but how's that working for you?
Not too good. I mean, I understand. I mean, I understand that. But in the same token, I've tried to use a different approach, reasoning. I feel that he can't be reasoned with. He's 23 years
listen,
old.
if we're going to change this, there's a family dynamic here that has to change too.
We know.
And you just said a really powerful word. You said, I get that, but.
There you go.
And to me, but means forget everything I just said. No. I'm going to now tell you what I really think. What you went on to say is I've tried 7 other things too, and they don't work either.
They don't work either.
So I'm out of options.
Yeah, and then Julie's crying. The kids are traumatized, and it's over and over and over.
I have no doubt that we're dealing with some brain issues here. No doubt in my mind. I think we're dealing with some neurological issues here. Much more than psychological issues, frankly. But I also think that there are some family dynamics here that are like throwing gas on a fire. Yeah. We can help him, but we've got to change you guys as well. And you say, well, he's 23. I mean, come on, what are we talking about parenting? Sometimes you parent, sometimes you reparent. Some things are going to happen here. And there's no theory under which I'm going to let you say I'm verbally abusive to my son. Just slide by like, oh, that's okay.
I wanted to be brutally honest with you.
I know, you are, and I'm being brutally responsive.
Okay.
That's got to change.
Yeah, I know that.
And you know, and I got to give you some coping tools to use instead. Because if I were you, I'd be thinking, okay, Baldy, that's fine. Then give me something to do instead.
No.
Give me something to do instead. We got to take a break. Brandon got uncomfortable. He walked off. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he won't. We'll see. Nonetheless, I'm on the case. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Their oldest child lost all her hair.
We've been told it's a stress condition.
Is it because of her dad?
Your younger daughter says there's a monster living inside you.
That's tomorrow.
Brandon used to steal out of my purse. My husband found out about it. He was very angry. Brandon was at a game.
When I arrived at the baseball field, I walked right into that dugout. I snatched him up by the scruff of his neck. I pulled him out of that dugout. Oh, don't hit me, don't beat me, don't hit me, don't hurt me. He was playing it. No smacks, you know, but I grabbed him. I was arrested right there on the spot. He looked me right in the eye, and he said, who's going to go to jail now?
Let's talk about the past for a minute, and then I want to get that over with. I've been through the history. I've looked at everything. I think with regard to the treatment centers and most of the medications. I think you made both prudent and timely decisions. And I think there is a real question here that comes down to the real core of what's happening with him, and I'll tell you what it is. I think there is a big difference between the irresistible impulse versus the impulse not resisted. And this, I think, is at the core of what's going on with him. And right now, he has decided, and the two of you have decided, that he is dealing with irresistible impulses because he has a frontal lobe brain injury. And I'm going to predict that 80% of his dysfunctional behavior are impulses not resisted. I asked Dr. Frank Lawless to join us today. Frank, why don't you come up and have a seat? Can you just come up for a second and have a seat? Because I want you to talk with these folks. Dr. Frank Lawless is, he and I have been together for, what, 45 years?
45 years.
Yeah. Dr. Lawless is author of Retraining the Brain, and it's a 45-day plan to conquer stress and anxiety, which I think is crippling your son so much. He's also the chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board, which is the leading minds in psychology, psychiatry, medicine, sociology from the top learning centers across the country. And he's director of the Lawless PVP and P Center in Dallas, Texas, which is one of the top diagnostic and treatment centers in the country. And I've asked him from the minute this story came in to start evaluating this and looking at the records and everything here. And you believe that there, in fact, is some asymmetry in the brain that's creating a lot of the problems here.
It's like having two radios going on one side over here and one side over here on different channels. And so that creates conflict in the brain itself. And so what happens is you become very impulsive. You get overstimulated, and you don't know what to do. And so you become very primitive in terms of your expression and how you try to resolve these things.
And unless you turn off all this static, you're not going to respond to rewards either. So as you turn the static down, the recognition of positive reinforcement becomes much more sensitized, so you can begin to shape his behavior at a neurological level. He's just out of rhythm. And this is not something that can't be corrected. And that's where it has to start. If you don't get the computer running right, then you can't start shaping the behavior. So I think we've got to get that under control first. When we come back, we're going to talk about what this whole family needs to do to take the steps necessary to help Brandon be the man that he does want to be. He is motivated. And he says he's willing to talk to me and talk to Dr. Lawless backstage. I've gotten that word, so we're going to chat with him when we're through. We'll be right back.
Brandon has been a problem child since he's been born, bouncing off the walls, uncontrollable.
He was super hyperactive and just would get into things. He would never respond if we would tell him no.
In the 5th grade, we had him in private school, and he had sensory issues. He took his underwear off, flushed it down the toilet, and backed up the entire plumbing system of that school.
Brandon was suspended from school so many times in 8th grade because he had aggressive behaviors towards students.
He's been in jail sometimes 45 days, 60 days, 70 days at a time.
Having a child like Brandon puts a tremendous strain on a marriage. There's never peace. There's always chaos.
Sometimes you want to go out for a gallon of milk and just never come back.
In my opinion, and Dr. Frank Lawless, who's joined us here, we are talking about some neurological problems. Most people would look at this and say, these are psychological issues. He's psychologically maladjusted. I truly think the psychological expression is secondary to neurological issues, but the neurological issues are probably more electrical than structural, and that means you can change the rhythms and create some things that we've been talking about here. So what I recommend, and Dr. Lawless has been gracious enough to offer here, is that we get Brandon to the PNP Center in Dallas, Texas. And this is the PNP Center for this type thing is, I think, the best diagnostic and treatment center on the globe. And just as our gift to y'all, we want Brandon to go there, and Dr. Lawless has agreed to do a very thorough workup on him, beginning with a brain scan and evaluation of the brain. Nothing invasive here. We're not talking about doing anything invasive on the brain, so there's no risk involved here. In addition to the PNP Center, I'm offering to send Brandon to Origins Behavioral Health Care, the nation's leading dual diagnosis treatment center. Now, Origins offers sophisticated treatment programs specializing in the treatment of addiction, trauma, and other psychological disorders. I think when he sees his ability to influence control over himself at the PNP Center, I think he's going to get hungry for more, because I think he wants out of this hell.
He does.
I think he is as miserable as y'all are, and I think he wants out of it. So will you talk with him backstage?
Absolutely.
And do that. So does this sound like a plan for you guys?
Sounds wonderful.
And again, you have to protect the other children here too. Let's just take this a step at a time. But I think it starts here with his great team. We've got a nice plan in place here. Let us work this plan. Okay. And you guys take a step back and take a break. Next, she says she lost nearly 130 pounds. So what was her secret? Well, we're going to find out after the break. Let's take one more look at Sherry before and after losing 128 pounds. This is Sherry now. Oh, wow. Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
Hi, Dr. Phil. I just want to tell you how much the 2020 diet literally saved my life. I bought the book the day it came out, and as of today, I have lost 128 pounds. I am holding steady. I literally tried everything. I just lost hope, but after I read your book, I just saw the light and made a decision to change not just my eating habits, but my whole entire life. I feel like people should know that you can lose huge amounts of weight if you follow the book to a T. My ultimate wish one day is to meet and thank you for giving me the tools to change my life and my health. Your biggest fan, Sherry.
Well, I have not met Sherry, but I am happy to say that she is here. But before we bring her out, let's take one more look at Sherry before and after losing 128 pounds using the 2020 diet. This is Sherry now. Sherry, come on out. Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Have a seat. What, you lost a whole person.
I did. I lost a whole person.
128 pounds. So,
yeah.
Wow. One of the things that I always say about the 2020 diet is I planned this because I wanted people to not only lose weight but have a return to health. And you were you were on type 2 diabetes medication.
Yes, I was.
And where are you on that now?
I'm off. I've been totally off of it for months. Yeah.
You're completely off of it. You were on blood pressure medication.
Yes.
And where you are on that?
Off of everything.
Off of it
yes.
completely. I mean, you know, that is so great. And you said your lowest moment was that picture from your daughter's wedding. You looked
yes.
at that and said, not good, right?
Yes. Yes. I remember that day.
There's that picture.
Mm-hmm. It was her most important day, and I wanted to be looking my best, and I wasn't.
Where's your daughter?
She's right there.
So how proud are you of your mom?
Words cannot even describe how proud I am of you. Yeah, you're an extraordinary human being, Mom. You just are. And you were in that picture.
When Sherry wrote to me, she wanted to know how she can inspire people. Well, I think she already has. But we have a little surprise for her. Take a look.
Babe, just wanted to let you know how proud I am of you. You've done a wonderful job. You've had a great impact on my life and our 3 girls' lives.
Hi, Mommy. I just wanted to tell you I love you so much. You did such a great job losing all your weight, and I'm so proud of you.
Mom, I'm very proud of you. And we all love you, and I miss you.
You've definitely inspired me and showed me that with hard work and dedication, there's not a goal that's too large to reach.
We're so proud of you for changing your life and living this healthy lifestyle. I just want to say that you are the best mom a girl could ask for. Love you.
What a great family you have around you. What a great family.
Yes.
Well, I have another surprise for Sherry. Club Med La Caravelle in Guadeloupe and Norwegian Air are going to provide Sherry and a guest a signature, all-inclusive 6-day, 5-night stay in the Southern Caribbean Sea. Club Med includes many land and water sports activities, outstanding children's clubs, and relaxing activities and spa services. And we just thought you just need to go down there and celebrate all of this and strut your stuff, girl.
Thank you so much. I will. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So we just... You are absolutely going to love this. And so that's all on us. We just wanted to give you that vacation. And a big part of the great 2020 foods are the shakes, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's some great shakes.
Yes.
So Blendtec, known for the world's most advanced blenders, wanted to give Sherry their Blendtec Classic 570. It's a powerful... This thing, you could fly a small airplane with this. It has a powerful 3-horsepower motor with a really thick single-piece safety blade that it's hard enough to deliver blending power, but dull enough to safely clean and handle. Plus, it's got an 8-year warranty, which is the best in the blender industry. So we're going to give you that.
Thank you.
And, oh, what the hell, let's just give one to everybody in the audience, okay? All right. And, Sherry, as you know, losing weight is more than just stepping on the scale. SculptAim wants to give you their latest technology so you can keep track of your great results. This is a new technology that measures when you're losing fat and gaining muscle. It accurately measures body fat percentage and muscle quality for up to 24 individual muscle groups. And so we wanted to give you that, and we're going to give that to everybody in the audience as well. Okay? All right. If you at home want your own copy of the 2020 Diet, it's available anywhere books are sold. Thanks to you, you put it right at the top of the New York Times bestseller list, so I'm very proud of that. But those of you in the audience don't need to buy one because I'm going to give everybody in the audience a copy of the book. I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Dr. Frank Lawless, the PNP Center, and a special thanks to T.J. Howard and the people at Origins. Thank you for being here so long.